darkest of nights, an Arkhonian tale unfolds. A quest to rewrite destiny, when fortunes have already been foretold. A divider with blood of old seeks answers this world may hold. A bond with a shadowy past seeks naught but bonds that will last. The sorcerer's fate, sealed before birth, seeks his means to save this earth. Bound by ancient lore, it search the Etharis passage. We sail on wings of starlight and hope, looking at you, calling our dungeon masters every toe. With courage in our hearts before it is too late. We are the Stargazers, forging our own fate. Now remain two fighters, whose paths to freedom align. With futures they seek to undermine, the dark elf as pale as snow holds a bloodline of which none may know, and one of that which is so twice over. What destiny will he conquer? Bound by ancient lore, they search the Etharis passage. We sail on wings of starlight and hope, looking at you, calling our dungeon masters every toe. With courage in our hearts before it is too late. We are the Stargazers, forging our own fate. Bound by ancient lore, they search the Etharis passage. We sail on wings of starlight and hope, looking at you, calling our dungeon masters every toe. With courage in our hearts before it is too late. We are the Stargazers, forging our own fate.
I hear the echoes of victory in field won before time, when battles draw so near. You will feel the same in war. Below is the battle, below one before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below one before. Memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. Below is the battle, below and before. The memory stays ever so bitter. I hear the echoes of victory in field won before time, above or below one before. The memories days ever so bitter. Below is the above or below one before. The memories days ever so bitter. Below is the above or below one before. The memories days ever so bitter. Below is the above or below one before. The memories days ever so bitter.
I'll be going then.
Good
Bye-bye.
evening.
Hello.
Good evening, and welcome to a slightly smaller group on Friday evening with Talechasers today.
Hello.
Hello.
'Cause we are missing one, or maybe in a bit two players, but we will do our best. Keep on rolling. I think we don't have much of anything in the way of announcements, so I would like to just jump into a recap.
Yeah.
Who did it last time?
It was me.
Time before that was Mark. I'm sorry, Gimo, it's gonna be you.
Okay. I can give somewhat of a recap. Last time we started off with Lawrence and Zarius reliving one of Emil's memories. Well, technically, no, let's not get into technicalities. And it was basically his memory, or their memory of how they got to end up here at Shipwreck Bay. There were some very interesting individuals that had served on their ship back in the day. But sadly, most, if not all of them, actually all of them in the end, they met their demise after quite a costly battle that took place upon the ethereal seas. And the ship then limped its way and ended up on Shipwreck Bay. There you go. We then basically saw what we already knew to an extent, as we had read through the notes of Captain Emile. And I thought I turned my phone on silent, but apparently I did not. But after all was said and done, and we saw some of this firsthand from Emile's point of view, how they fought two of the marrow that had stalked and killed most of what was left of the remaining crew after the fierce battle. Emile managed to kill one of said marrow. They got very wounded in the fight themselves, and the remaining marrow effectively took somewhat care of Emile. And as Emile came in and out of consciousness throughout their memory, they started changing physically and mentally until basically they turned into a marrow themselves, and all that was left in their head was the fact that they were Emil Markov, and that the pearl they had belonged to them, and they needed to get to the Isle of Drakes. That was all they remembered. As all of that was going on, the other people, well, I should say mainly Tokas and Vincent, they checked out a chest that we had found here in this little cove
earlier was a very, very fancy-looking ivory chest. And they figured out a little bit about it. Now I need to go scroll up in my notes if I have this noted down. Alternatively, I could just, if one wants to hear about this ivory chest, then one could go and watch the lovely short we have on our YouTube channel, Tap's Forehead. But yes, there were some things discovered. First and foremost, something is missing to unlock the chest. And more so, there is probably something of great value and or power inside of it. As usually is the case, of course, with locked treasure chests. But in the end, attempts to open this will have to be made once everyone else is no longer partaking in a mental communication and reliving memories. And at the end of the session, well, that's what happened. They were finished with the memories, and I imagine that both Zarius and Lawrence were a bit shaken. Lawrence more so than Zarius, I imagine, due to his connection with a little guest he has embedded in his neck. I look at Amber.
This much is true. Lawrence is the only one who can experience the whole thing.
I imagine so, yeah.
All right. And that is exactly where we will pick up today. We're going to get rid of this music. In the aftermath of the vision, Lawrence unwittingly broadcasts a number of audio and visual snippets to the rest of you before falling to his knees and clutching the back of his head. We will talk about how this affects him when he gets here himself. The marrow before you is curled in on themselves, kind of wrapping this flag that is tied around them, even further around their shivering form.
Vittorio is probably... I'd imagine Vittorio is still just keeping an eye on the knocked out. Actually, yes, they were knocked out, right?
We bonked him on the head.
Believe so, because they were not cooperating. Keeping an eye on them.
Oh, crap. I'll clutch still onto the railing. Look down. Then I look at Emil. I'll kneel down next to her. Which one is the map?
There you go.
Thank you, thank you. I'll kneel down and I'll speak in primordial. That was, something. Are you alright? And I try to be as disarmed as possible, but my arm is violently on this railing, like clutching this railing, as if my life depends on it.
The marrow before you sort of slowly unfurls themselves from the bowl that they have turned into, and like they pop their head up. You can just see their eyes peeking out from beneath the hood that they fashioned out of this flag. Their mouth falls open just a little bit, as though they mean to speak, but there's no sound that comes out. But they regard you with trepidation.
Now, I remember that Lawrence has the full view of whatever happened, and I have probably snippets at best. Can I make an intelligence check to sort of? I know I played Emil, but I imagine that was Lawrence. But Emil, can I make an intelligence check to slightly make sense of it?
Sure.
All right. Let's see it, boys. Yeah.
Hey, nice.
So it's even with only like half a story, you can piece together what happened like well enough.
I'm slowly taking a step forward.
To the point that you also realize that they definitely cannot physically speak. And that is most assuredly a result of the fight that they had here at Shipgrave Reef.
It's fine. You did the best you could. That's all anyone can ever ask a commander. But you had a duty to do. Do you still want to continue that? I hold out my hand. Like, in this question mark of, should I take this this person's hand as a lady or as a, like, fellow soldier type of idea? So it's like that weird diagonal hand holding so I can react to what they do.
Rather than like hold out a hand to you, Emil uses both of their hands to prop up their upper body as you. Well, they don't have a proper way of like standing up.
There.
They will reach out to your hand with one of those weird pom-pom like tendrils that kind of looks more like a pine cone. Now that you see it up close, it like kind of like opens up like a pine cone does. You see the little spiny bits? Those probably jammed you in the back of the neck. It still kind of hurts.
I'm not disgusted. Nope. But
That's crazy work.
I'll take it. like I'm not grabbing it. Like, I'll let it rest in my hand, type of situation.
You see the other one, like, slowly slink into view from the side, like, reaching around to the back of you. There's a small pinprick.
No vision this time. Okay. Good. I'll try to think. See if that communicates. I don't know. I've seen people do it before.
Emil just stares at you with that same, like, slightly mouth agape, like, motion. And then you hear that soft voice in your head again. Emil has a duty.
You are. Yeah. You have a duty. But only if you still want to fulfill that duty.
They blink at you with those large eyes. You see the like the nictating membrane, like they have double eyelids. So like first you see it like blink vertically and then you see them blink horizontally. And then they look down at their hands. And they like kind of curl the palm of the one that they were like leaning on towards themselves, and you see a flash of that like very shiny looking bowl pearl again.
Ah.
Emil, what?
Duty to the crew, the legend.
I'm Emil Markov.
Captain of the legend.
Captain of the legend. I need the pearl.
The pearl to an island. Remember? I imagine the fine details, like names, are like lost to a bigger extent.
Mm-hmm.
Because just talking to her is already hell. I can barely remember.
There's like a wave of confusion. Like you can imagine it like that meme of the woman who's standing there, and then there's like, you know, calculating like symbols like
Yeah,
flying all around
that's
her.
exactly
It's
what I
like,
imagined.
island.
Island, yeah. I don't know the name. You did though, Captain Emil. You did.
I need a ship.
Yes, you do. We got a ship. We can help you out.
They kind of like look around, which kind of like tugs you along because it's like they don't let go of the back of your neck, so they just like look around the ship and drag you along, and they're like, ship. They say as they put their hand on the balustrade as well of this absolute wreck of a ship. I have ship. I have pearl. Emil.
I'm sorry, people were screaming and yelling when they came in here. Can you repeat it? I have no idea what was said. I had to mute myself.
They basically dragged you along as they went to like to look at the railing of the ship, and they're like touching their ship, and they're like, I have a ship and I have a pearl, you know, to put it bluntly. as they have this fucking wreck of a ship beneath them.
Captain Emil, this ship is not going to sail. Not now, not in a long time.
Crew. They say. They look past you. They scan the surroundings. Lawrence is like out at the moment. Vittorio is too busy with the tiny boat. Emil looks at Tokas and at Vincent and
He's looking
slithers like
straight directly at them.
yeah, like Emil literally begins dragging their huge lumbering body over towards you. And in your head, you hear them say "crew, Zarius," but like she doesn't say anything outwardly. She just stares at them.
Blinka. Lucas looks up to Vincent. Yeah, so like I lost him about 10 minutes ago when they started doing that whole thing. I think it's telepathy, or some sort of perhaps messages induced through electricity via neurons. Maybe it's some sort of chemistry-induced telepathy. That'll be very interesting to study. Greetings.
What the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, I'll explain to you later. Anyways, I think what Zars is trying to do is get him on our ship. Hello, I think you can understand me, right? You can just give me like a nod. I don't think. Looks at the other tendril. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I am Tokas Molten Top, Wayfinder and Mage of the Adelard's Endeavor, and this is Vincent, our captain.
Hey, that's me.
Emil blinks at both of you and extends a tendril between the two of you. They only have one left.
Blinka.
Go on, Tokas. It's only polite.
Right. We just grabs the tendril with his hand. He looks up at Emil. He looks at Zarius. Oh, right. Back of the head. All
Back
right.
of the head, yeah.
This will be
Ow.
interesting. He plugs it like a cable.
She's calling you crew.
You see their face contort a little bit as you begin like yanking on this tendril and like plugging it in yourself like it's an outlet. Bloop.
Gotta power the computer.
You can be part of our crew, sure.
Crew.
She's calling you crew.
I can hear that now. Yeah, she thinks we are we are the crew. Yeah, that's completely correct. We are part of the crew of the Adelard's Endeavor. We have a decently sized vessel outside of this place, manned, stacked with provisions, and ready to sail.
Ship.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Full of people, sailors, proficient, botaneers. How do you call someone that sails?
Sailor?
Ah, that's already used.
You don't really need more.
Fair enough. Well, what do you think? I'm not sure what happened in the past 10 minutes, but I'm glad you don't seem wary of us anymore. And if you truly are Captain Emil Markov, I suppose we could use another experienced sailor on our vessel.
Yeah, we seem to be collecting captains anyway. We might as well make a fucking party of them.
My friend here says that he'd be also happy to have you on our vessel.
Friend.
Yeah, this is Vincent, as I introduced him about 45 seconds ago.
They blink at you, and then they blink at Vincent. They turn back to Zarius. They release Zarius and extend a tendril to Vincent.
You see, Tokas rubs his chin as he watches these tendrils attach and attach, and there's clearly thoughts that he doesn't hide about probably trying some things out with them. It's like, what if I could, what if it's just some type of electricity-induced type of telepathy? Maybe I could devise some sort of machine, perhaps to broadcast it.
If Emil has the ability to read your actual thoughts, they don't seem to respond to them.
Very good.
Right. Grabs it and I guess slaps it onto his nape. I don't know.
You slap it against her nape. It kind of like wetly thuds off of it before Emil hooks herself up.
Ugh.
You now have syphilis.
She approaches you very closely, Vincent.
Okay, that's uncomfortably close.
Friend.
Yep, friend.
With ship.
Yes, friend with ship.
For a meal?
For us to go together, yes.
You can come along, indeed. We still have plenty of space. Even more so after we got here, sadly.
Emil frowns. But where do Emil and friends go?
Well, we were considering different options. We are new here in the Expanse, you see. We don't actually come from this place. But our other captain told us that perhaps going to the Isle of Drakes as a first encounter would be more optimal. Ares and Caroline might have different agendas and they might, well, clash with ours. So perhaps the more free-spirited pirates would be a welcome first introduction to this silvery seas, I suppose.
They look at you. They look at Vincent. They turn back to Zarius and Lawrence and Vittorio in the distance, and then look at their like closed fist hand again.
Arthur Fist.
Okay.
I turn around to Zarius. Oh, well, I guess it was okay. I guess they're coming along.
Nice, the more the merrier.
Yeah, you haven't seen the vision, but they need to bring the item to some form of island.
What item?
It's the item.
The item?
Come on, you're gonna have to use your words here, big boy.
Okay, I feel like we all were pretty clear on what item we were looking for on this island, but
Wasn't there a shard of Ethereum that controls ether beasts?
he kind of like motions as in like, yeah, that.
Blinka. Was he a piece of Ethereum? Remember?
Make me an observation check.
I'll observe a makervation check. Where is it? 22. That's like wrong dice.
Wrong number.
Interesting looking dice.
Don't worry about those dice.
It is a little bit hard to spot because Emil is like keeping it pretty close to themselves, but there is a very small round object in their hand that kind of shines like Ethereum. It has a glint like it, but it looks more like a 1-inch pearl.
Can I make a witch sight check to get a first vibe? Actually, I think I can people can recognize magical items from
Yeah,
sight.
you can recognize something that is magical in nature.
Is this magical in nature?
In its own way, yeah. It definitely doesn't look quite. It doesn't look like it is not magical. We'll just say.
No, right? Yeah, fair enough. Well, whatever this item is, if you have it with you, I suppose we're kind of good to go. He says, looking at Emil. Tokus speaks out loud as well, but he does have tongues outside of speaking several languages that he could probably communicate with. So people understand him when he speaks. Yeah, well, there's that. There's also a few things that we've noticed around this cave that I suppose could be useful. There were Arisian crates, sealed still, which was surprising considering most of the wood here is either rotten or broken. And then some other paraphernalia, like a mechanism of some sort of fish Interesting in its device, but I haven't figured out what it does yet.
Emil blinks and just says fish before they begin crawling like around the both of you.
Blinker.
So we do have a problem.
What is that problem?
Well,
Says Zarius. As Emil reaches Vittorio and begins to hiss.
yeah, I was like, yeah, that.
Doris is gonna look over his shoulder. He's like, oh, he'll say in primordial as well. He's like, that's nice to meet you.
They have no attention for you, Vittorio. None whatsoever. They've like crawled almost on their like stomach towards this area to get into the water, but they look down and they see your little boat here and like the tied up marrow inside of it, and they're just like hissing like a cat. But like there's no sound, so it just sounds like
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Well, I assume you guys know how to talk with them, or
I think they understand. Just they can't speak. I think they are mute. They have some
Yeah.
form of biological telepathy, but
They need to
I'm not
jab
sure.
the tentacle in the back of their neck.
Yeah, but I think it has to be a willing thing. They don't look very happy. Captain, I understand it can look very weird of a situation, but I assure you, we had intended no harm upon your friend, mate.
so guys, they turn to you. You feel a throb at the back of your neck.
Throba.
Friend.
Yeah. We
Helping
all,
you.
yes, we would love to help you. What do you need?
Kill evil marrow.
Oh, crap.
Okay. I turn around to Vittorio. Okay, I guess the captain is not angry at you. I think the captain is angry at that thing. He points at the marrow tied up. I guess the assumption was kind of correct. It was one of the two monsters that took all the people that camped out here in the islands of Shipgrave Reef.
right. So, yeah, I take it they don't want them to.
Live, apparently.
Well, I was gonna say come with, but yeah, I guess that as well.
Yeah, I definitely understood it quite clearly inside my frontal cortex, and they are not happy with that creature being alive.
Time to become judge, jury, and executioner.
I suppose. And he turns around to the captain. Are you sure you want them dead?
You feel a surge of like mild panic. Marrow are evil?
Blink. Aha. That's a fact I was not acquainted with. Are all marrows evil?
Yes.
He raises an eyebrow. Are you not a marrow?
I am immune.
That's true. A moral conundrum I did not expect to encounter in such a location. I must admit I am a bit befuddled. Well, guys, our new friend wants us to kill the marrow because they say all marrows are evil. It's a bit of
I
a
look at it. It's
broad
like,
statement, but we can be quite sure that this thing probably killed a bunch of people.
are we sure it's of its own choice?
I mean, I would assume so. Character, Mark, you saw this guy and another marrow kill the people of the legend.
No. I know, but we're standing next to a marrow that could have also done that.
No, I mean, always out of character. This marrow, as far as I've understood, it was alive before Emil turned into a marrow. This was one of the two marrows.
Out
that
of
came out of the
character, I understand, but this could have just as well been a merfolk that turned into a marrow. That is what Zaris is suggesting.
Well, I've no idea. Probably. That depends on your definition of volition.
Do we blame the deaths on it?
Well, it killed them, so kind of, yeah.
Turn it on its head, Zarius, you become a acidic, vile dragon that becomes a tyrant and incarcerates people and kills them. But before that, you were a nice, humble bard. But after, you killed dozens and dozens of people as a tyrant. Should people still kill you?
Well, if I
When
make
was this?
that
Zarya's
choice,
now or 6 months ago?
I look at the gods. I'm like, what?
A nice humble. They just call him a nice humble bard.
I am better. I am better.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I'm gonna look like. Well, that depends. Did I become a tyrant through a sickness that I had no control over that mutated me into said tyrant?
Yep.
Sure.
But afterwards, you still killed dozens and dozens and dozens of people and are now still a tyrant that incarcerates people's lives. Should people still kill you?
Yeah, but if you then can be cured, are you still really responsible, even if that was not of your own volition?
Okay, counter argument. No one knows the cure. It's just a possibility that there may be a cure, and you would have to withstand dealing with this tyrant for maybe 100 more years until someone finds the cure for it. Do you wait, or do you kill them?
Kind in the Empire.
I mean, that is the moral dilemma. Look, I'm not against killing things. I mean, we've done plenty of that before.
Well, if you want to do it the Burek way, we take their head. Look at what happened to Leopold.
We want to do it the Ember Kern way. You duel it.
Oh, go on, Vittorio, duel it.
If we're going to kill this marrow because it's evil and it's killed a bunch of people before, then we should just get it over with. There's
All
no
right.
need to duel it or make it last any longer than it has to.
Well, I don't think anyone wanted to torture them.
No,
That's not what you mean.
No, what I meant, but yeah, I don't think so either.
Let's get it over and done with then.
Yeah, I agree.
Vittorio's gonna he's gonna look at Emil. He's gonna just reach out his hand, like gesturing at one of the tendrils first.
Yeah, they won't give you one.
I don't know, like takes it, looks at it, puts it up against his head.
They'll do it themselves, don't worry.
Oh,
They stare right at you, Vittorio.
you said that all the marrow were evil, right?
Evil beasts.
Any reason that one kept calling you its wife?
Blink. I am Emil, not wife.
Ugh, that has some terrible implications.
Do you remember anything about this marrow? Like this one in particular?
They stare at you, Vittorio, and then they look down at the marrow. They look back up at you. Evil? Question mark.
I I don't I don't think I can I can't freaking insight weird mind link. No. Okay. No, it was just kind of looking at Emil. Looks at the marrow. Looks at Emil. Right. Well, I guess we can put them out of their misery then.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be very happy if they woke up and Emil here was gone.
Well, I'm not sure you should kill someone because they'll be sad, but yeah. I
No.
mean, we've already made our choice.
Yeah, it's already like. Oh, bless. Mr. frowns a bit, but he will take out. Where is it? I thought I had another hunting knife. Yeah, sure. I'll take out the shadow steel hunting knife.
It is cold to the touch as always.
Yeah. And he'll. Oh, you know what? He'll take the lift the marrow out of the boat first and put them. There's not a whole lot of places you can put them, but
You can put them on the deck. Emil will move
Yeah.
out of the way and just like look down at it. Monster.
Damn.
That's just how casual is monster.
To be fair.
Look at you, loser. You're about to die.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
emoted on them.
Literally, just standing there. We're like,
Might as well be Akari emoting for 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, he'll place the marrow down on the deck, lay them out, and kind of squat down, and he's like, suppose you were pretty bad. Killing all of those shipwrecked crew. Well, I think this is probably a kindness then, since you'd be left here on your lonesome anyway. And yeah, we was gonna put the shadow steel hunting knife to the throat of this marrow.
Lucas has a little bit of a frown in his brow. Think calling it a kindness is just a way to make ourselves feel better. You shouldn't do that. It's not a kindness. Killing anyone is never a kindness.
That I also disagree on, but sure. I don't think what we're doing now is a kindness. Depending on if this thing was a marrow first or a merfolk now. Or a merfolk first, or a marrow always. But there's definitely some situations where death is a mercy.
Not in this one.
No, I agree.
We've all got our vices, but there's no point in making this harder for Victoria, is there? So let me get on with it.
Fair enough.
I'll rub some charcoal on my hands.
Yeah. And yeah, Victoria's already said his piece on the matter. And he will
He just simply looks at you, Vittorio.
Uh-huh.
But they don't say anything.
No, no. Yeah, Victoria will, with, like, quick motion, just, yeah, cut the throat of, the marrow.
And so you do the job, Vittorio. That perhaps nobody else wanted to do. Or could do.
Yeah. And after that, he is just going to collect the rope, clean the knife, put the knife back, and walk on over to the boat.
Emil
Yeah,
stares
Mars.
down at the body for like a few moments longer. And blinks.
I'll rub some charcoal on the corpse.
You may do so.
Now get in the boat. You know, I really do wonder what those levers were for.
I'll probably to let the ship go somewhere, I would assume. Or maybe some passage, maybe a gate. The way back is way more direct if you open those doors. I don't know, Emil. Is there anything on this ship that you need to take with?
No.
All right. Well, we can take our boat back to still land and load in some crates and that weird fish thing. Might have missed something else, so we might as well give a second look.
We're not gonna dissect the marrow, are we?
No, not really.
Emil crawls away and slithers into the water.
All right. I'm gonna take the little rowboat back to where the land is still inside the cavern.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess start loading up some crates.
Yeah, you want to go back to the you can go
Yeah.
back to the crate room.
I think it's here. Oh, yeah, the other room. I remember there was a sealed Irisian crates. I'd like to take a peek into one of them to see if there's actual trade bars in there, as the ledger suggested, or if there's something else.
No, you may.
And then the other thing is the giant fish mechanism, which I will ask Emil if they know what this is supposed to be.
I think one thing at a time.
Of course.
Hi, Vincent.
Where's everyone else?
Tokas is
end.
here.
Hello.
Well, luckily we're in a boat this time.
Oh, I see them.
Hello.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We found some sealed crates that might have trade bars. Finger crossed, it's Ethereum. Finger not crossed, it's bronze. Finger doubly not crossed, it's lead.
Are you gonna crack him open?
That's a good idea. I'm a 7th level wizard. I feel like I should probably have a tool to crack some of these things up.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? I guess I can use a spell. I should have thought about a crack opening spell. Is there just like a... Are they bolted down? Is there like a wooden lid and then nailed down?
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, one of them was sealed. The other one you already opened, and it was full of like random shit.
Oh yeah, no,
Remember?
I thought that it was full of crates that were sealed. So I guess I got it wrong. I mean, if it has a lock, we have a lock picker.
That we do.
That's Vincent turning back to look at the lockpicker. Oh wait, it's me.
It's me.
Hey, it's me. I'm him.
I mean, yeah. I can also just make it easy. Stargazers like holds out his hand.
But it will make a lot of noise, and we don't know what awaits for us on the journey back to the ship.
Fair enough.
Plus, it's an old lock.
And we need your spell for the ivory crate or chest. We have to open that still.
Did you not manage to open it?
Nope. We need a amulet of mother pearl, which I think I know where to find, but it's definitely not around here.
Yeah, I can try to open it up.
Yeah, but first let's knock this thing open, see if there's trade bars inside.
Rolls out a cloth filled with little lockpicks of all shapes and sizes and curves. Weaves his spindly fingers over them. Right, what am I dealing with?
Well, you see, Master Locksmith, this lock looks very scary, but everybody knows if you encounter the Irisian Master Lock, all you need to open the Irisian Master Lock is another Irisian Master Lock. You just knock them into each. This is way too much.
The other Eurasian Master Lock already fallen off the other chest. Perfect.
Blinks.
This is a YouTube short reference of me
We
watching
get to the
too much.
lockpicker guy that opens
The lockpicking
locks
lawyer.
with locks. I saw him open a lockpick with a can of beer. He just opened it up and used a tinfoil to literally pull out the fucking piece of the lock. God damn it.
Should I roll a thieves' tools then?
Yes, please.
Crack it open. You're
Put that
still
on
Pram's fortuned, by the way.
What did I give advantage or a bonus?
You can reroll if you'd like.
I can re-roll.
It's a
I
reroll
love a
within.
re-roll.
Yeah, there you go.
Puta la
God
madre.
damn. The reroll didn't help.
It's fine. I will fate this just this once.
Jesus Christ.
He's really determined.
I realize that I'm not going to be here soon, so I might as well use my shit now.
That's
If you roll a 10, I'll be very.
He's gonna roll a 3. It's going down by increments of 2.
When you
Yeah,
have
no,
a
that's what I
plus-
mean. A 10.
Oh, there you go.
Let's see it.
Yeah, grabs the lock, messes with a bit. One of the first locks snaps off. You hear a bit of like a grunt. He's like, he breathes in. It's okay. It's okay. I haven't dealt with a lock like this before. It's different, you know, otherworldly. Some would even say. Picks out the piece that snapped off. Cracks his fingers. Right. Shh. Come on. And then he hears the little, and then, ching. It opens and like, ooh, sweet sound to my ears. Takes a stand, looks over to Tokas, does a bow. The chest is yours.
I'm surprised you made a lockpick that looks rusted from the inside out make that noise. I guess that's what you do when you know what to do with your hands.
He smiles, knowing that Tokas has no idea of the innuendo he's just said. But Vincent looks at him, smiling. Damn right.
Well, let's see for your efforts. We're repaid. And he taps the heel of his foot on the ground, and a little sparkling hand flips the lid of the chest, of the crate.
Immediately, you see a number of bundles within this large chest, neatly wrapped in cloth or some sort of strange wood, but like it doesn't feel like wood. It feels kind of like soft. It's cardboard. Anyway,
Holy shit, the Eurasian of cardboard.
they've invented the cardboard box.
Crazy.
Crazy work. I need you to roll me a d3.
Go, Vincent. You have the honor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I get to roll a d3?
Yeah.
You get to roll dice. Oh, huge!
3.
I knew it was right.
Okay. 3 collections of coral. Trade goods.
Yeah.
Then I need a d4. Actually, 2d4, not the 1d4.
Mm. 44, you said?
Yeah.
44 pigs. 5. 4 and a 1. Perfectly balanced.
Okay. That is 5 jars of spices.
Nice.
I need... what do you call this again? A
ball.
d2
Go, Mark. I
and
believe in
2
you.
d6.
Okay, all right, let's go. A D2. What do we want? 1 or a 2?
2. We want the 2.
Bam! I got it.
Huge.
Was it 2?
It's a 2. Brandon,
Alright.
2d6.
You have 2 sets of glassware.
I love it. Eyeglasses for the people that can't see.
No, it's like servies, plates,
Oh, okay,
cups.
okay.
They're very pretty.
And then 2d6?
Yeah, 2d6.
Ugh, 4. That was pretty bad.
Right, then that's 4 flasks of pigment.
Pigment!
Right, my homies, I'm gonna have to shoot out. I am required at the wedding.
Alright, brother.
Good luck
Enjoy
making
your
everyone
avenue.
sick.
I don't know how well I'll last out there, but
You can do it!
You can do this.
Just come back if you don't, you know,
If
if
you
you
go-
die.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna go out there, go to Leash and be like, I tried, man. I'm going back home.
Exactly. Anyway, the most important thing. All the way at the bottom of the chest is a very neatly stacked row of these tiny little plates. 10 1-ounce trade bars stamped with the Eurysian symbol upon their beautifully brilliant flank. Picture, where are you? There we go. Oh, there's a little line at the top now. Whoops. There you go. Squished little trade bar.
Trade bar.
Trade bar. Here comes the money.
Correct.
We
And
get-
that is what you find in this chest.
10 trade bars, 3 corals, 4 pigments, 2 glassware, and then we had a 5 something. I didn't count that one.
5 jars of spices and 4 flasks of pigment.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, pigment already note.
Mhm.
What is the value of these trade bars?
Roll me
Appraisal?
appraisal check, yeah?
How much Ethereum am I getting for my Ethereum trade bars? Even though I've never seen how much Ethereum trades for.
Oh, I'm rolling so bad. 9.
9.
Yeah.
You just know that the value fluctuates enormously, like, not just from place to place, but also even in the same, like, if you're in the same port for an extended period of time, the value can also, like, shoot up and down. Which is mostly to do with how much Ethereum is available, like, when it's coming in, you know. There's places like the, if you're anywhere near the Ethereum mines, where the prices might be more stable, but generally speaking, the prices fluctuate insanely.
That makes a lot of sense.
I also imagine that, for example, if you have, in our example now, we have some trade bars which are of Irisian make, or rather with their stamp. If you go and try and sell that to, I don't know.
Caroline's probably
yeah,
happy with
they're gonna be like,
Nobody's so happy.
yeah, you'll get like, I don't know, 70% of that value.
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't be so happy, but you could be looking at like 200 a piece.
Right,
maybe.
so about 200 GP a piece, okay. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Right.
Nothing.
Because we'll look at the trade bars with an interesting eye. Wonder if this is also poisonous. Maybe not, since they're trade bars, then they're supposed to be handled by merchants. I wonder if it retains magical properties. Well, it definitely has to. Well,
I wonder how much money we'll get for them. Sorry, it just looks.
it depends on where we go and who we talk with. Likely, if we go to the Drakes, it's possibly going to be one of our best outcomes. If we go to Iris, that's where they'll likely fetch the highest price, since they are Irisian in nature, but I don't think we're going to go there anytime soon. But alas, it depends. As he says, as he slams down the... Well, it's not slam, but he closes it down because he has 7 strength. He closes down the lid of the chest. Alright, we're gonna take this out as well with the big fish thing. I think we're more or less able to drag it outside. Or I could just shrink it.
You hear loud splashing beside you, Vittorio, and you see Emil drag this almost as large as Toka's size, like octopus, out of the water, and it's like clinging to Emil with like all of the like octopus legs as they pry it off and like hold it out towards you.
Hold it out towards me.
Yeah, to like show you, like a child showing off something, like a child showing off their cat.
I mean, I look at this octopus. Can I make a lore check about this octopus?
Sure. I don't know what kind of lore you're looking to obtain from this particular octopus, but
Yeah, like
Lore, Aether, Kindred.
I don't know what kind of octopus it is.
while it's blue, it has spikes on its like tendrils, and it has like more than 8 eyes.
It has more than 8 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, beast lore's probably not. Got it. I'll make,
I wonder.
I'll make an intelligence check, I guess, and yeah, we'll see how that.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredibly well for me.
Nice.
As he kind of looks at this and he's like, I don't know if that's like, is that a gift for me, or are you just showing me? Is this like your pet, or
Is this in primordial?
Dead octopus.
it's a what?
Are you saying this in primordial?
Yeah.
Octopus be like, no, save me!
Can you imagine that?
Please,
Like, no, I'm not a pet. Please.
Please,
It speaks in it speaks in taco to you. It speaks in taco to you. It's like, no! Ah!
Please, I'm part of a civilized society.
I don't think. Yeah, they only have one eye, but that's okay. That would have been funny though.
No, they have many, many, many eyes. I don't know, Vittorio, you're pretty sure it must have at some point been related to like octopi or something. You're already keenly aware of the fact that octopus are pretty intelligent creatures.
Yep.
This guy doesn't look so very happy to be here and to be like grabbed either. If it is an aether beast, then it has some. You already know it has some innate like sense of
Sniffer.
awareness of the world and its surroundings, and you also know that it should then maybe also have some form of maybe innate magic within it. At least all the creatures that Taldros has described to you thus far have the ability to cast magic in some way.
Yeah, it was like looking at it, thinking. Looks back at Emil. He's like, yeah. So I still don't get if like, do you just want me to look at this, or why?
Emil pulls the octopus back towards themselves and then looks at you, and then the octopus they don't really seem so sure themselves of what they want with this, like what this interaction was meant to be.
He's like, you're trying to say thank you for what I did, and you don't need to give me anything. No one else was gonna take care of it, so yeah.
They look up at you, and then they let the octopus back into the water. It kind of quickly scuttles underneath some rocks.
As it gets left back in the water, just for fun, I'm just gonna say in taco. I was gonna say, they like run faster.
That's a fucking nightmare. Run faster. What?
That was so
It literally,
cute, though.
it literally just sounds like Vittoria's like, I'll hunt you after, bitch.
I'll give you a handicap.
I doubt that this thing speaks taco anyway, so it's okay.
Vittorio, you just before as the octopus is like entering the water, you see it like curl its little tentacles and like shudder them, and then it rapidly changes color from its blue shade to like red and spotted all over.
I don't think it likes you, Victoria.
Fireball.
No, I can ask it if it likes you, if you want.
That's a bit late.
Oh, that's fine. Don't know why it changed color into that though.
Oh, you do know that, Vittorio.
Oh,
You were just cursed at by an octopus.
wait, what? What?
Yeah.
What?
In taco.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, you
what did
may
you tell
not
me?
understand. Like you may not understand this. Like in the moment that you see it, but
Yeah.
like the second it happens, you're like, wait a minute. Taco is actually really hard to learn for people because they don't speak normally. They like wiggle their bodies around. They produce a little bit of like slurping sounds as their tentacles are like waving around, and they change color. He cursed all your spawn to be eaten by Umbra Fang.
What? Wow!
You better not have children, because you're cooked if you do.
Isn't he sterile anyway?
Cooked double.
Like, I don't know. A few moments pass, and then you just see Victoria blink, looking towards the water. Well, the aether puddle. Though I imagine this little guy has vanished at this point.
Yeah, he's like crawled underneath some rocks and like squeezed himself in there.
Yeah, Victoria's like, why the. He's.
Emil looks up at you.
Yeah, he's like, that fucker just cursed me. That's what?
The squid?
Yeah.
Shakes their head.
I don't want to say that's funny, but
Well,
it's kind of funny.
yeah, I suppose it is. I hope it doesn't come back with all its family and friends.
Wasn't one of us cursed to begin with? Chased by like a creature and all whatnot?
No? What?
I
Thought so.
like I didn't. It's not that Kurt, you know. He basically told me to go fuck myself.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's a little bit better. No.
Oh,
Still
okay.
pretty weird from a. Well, we know these creatures can communicate, so I suppose that's.
I feel like almost every creature here can communicate.
Well, when you are tainted by a massive amount of liquid that's actually made up by the mind of celestial giants, I think you develop some form of communication that's more developed than that of a fish.
I mean, yeah, but like, if you think about it, even animals can speak. So
Nope, animals cannot speak, Azarius. Animals communicate. Speech is something specifically devised by humans.
no. If I cast speak with animals, they speak.
No, Azarius, they don't speak. If you cast a spell that lets you understand animals, you simply have an innate understanding of their communication. They don't acquire speech.
But they said it speaks.
Gives me an eyebrow. There is
Like
no
their
animal that can
thoughts are
speak.
speak. Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't. Well, I suppose awaken animals, but then they're people, not really animals.
Even regular animals speak. Their thoughts form intentions and words, and then that's their speaking.
No, they don't form thought. Zorus, animals have no concept of words.
No,
They're
they
animals.
form thoughts, and
Yeah,
sure.
but thoughts is not speech.
Yeah, but speaking is more than just words and sentences. It's
No, that is what speech is, Zarius. Speaking is the action of communicating through speech, which is a solely human endeavor, for animals sadly lack the intellectual capability to formulate abstract concepts through which they can communicate.
no. I talked with the monkeys about fin nuts, and they have pretty strong opinions on them.
Yeah, well, they can have opinions, but they can't word them.
That was one of the opinions.
There are nuts in my heart.
Only in your heart. I'm gonna quickly grab a drink, just a moment.
The nuts will
Very well.
always be in my heart.
Venort.
No, but even the spell gives them a voice.
The spell might give them a
communicate.
voice, but you know why? That's because if you were simply left to try and understand human or, well, animal communication, you would fail at it. So what magic does is translate one kind of communication into another. They might sound like they're speaking, but what the spell is doing is actively translating their gestures and sounds into understandable verbal cues.
But isn't those sounds essentially speech?
No, speech is a formulation of letters into words into sentences.
Yeah, but all those are sounds in specific orders that communicate, that convey what you're thinking to something else. If you're making
sounds?
noises, in specific patterns, that's essentially speech.
No, that's making extreme light of the predecessors in our ancestry that spent millennia to try and develop speech. And making sounds that you can understand, that does not equate to speech. That's simple communication.
But what's the difference, really?
The difference is the implementation of abstract concepts such as words. Words don't exist in normal animal speech because they have a correlation to concepts and categories which don't innately exist.
So, according to you, Emil can't speak,
Correct. They're mute.
but they can speak to us in thought.
Yes, because their thought is a
But those
mirroring
aren't
of their...
words. We understand what they mean.
No,
through-
those are definitely words. That's how telepathy works.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Then
it
isn't
is.
that the same way that speak with animals work?
No, because animals don't communicate telepathically with you.
No,
a
but they
speech that
speak
possess.
with
Again,
sounds and noises.
They don't produce the words, Zarius. They produce sounds and noises which you understand as words. That's why when you speak with animals, people don't hear them speaking. Because at the end of the day, they're still making sounds and noises. Simply the spell translates that rough communication into a series of words that you can understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree on that.
Well, I've spent the roughly of 30 years understanding magic. You
Well,
gotta give me a leg on that.
I spend roughly 6. So
Yeah, I think I've got a naked orb view on top of you, I'm just going to say.
Sometimes you just have to feel it, and you can't learn it from books.
There's a mill in telepathically.
No, Emil's busy scooping water with their hand as they wait
I mean,
for you guys.
that's
Oh, bless.
true. That's true. Voice in the air. My magic shares speech, feelings, but not through words. It's to convey feelings.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Tuka says as he begins to drag the crate. We're gonna take this thing and I'm gonna take the fucking fish statue, I'm gonna bring it back to the ship, and I'm gonna fucking figure out what it does.
We already passed.
You're
it.
gonna drag this?
Well, not the crate. I can resize the fish mechanism, so that it weighs basically nothing, and take it away. But the crate definitely I can't drag it unless.
I don't want to be a dick, but if you resize it and it weighs 800 kilos, and you resize it to 1/8 of that, that's still 100 kilos.
That's okay.
No.
We don't do in kilos anyways.
We don't do kilos. No, just wait
You
twice
get
as
the
much.
point.
Sure, it's gonna take some time, like the rest of your day.
Of course.
I'll take a short.
But you can drag that thing out.
Well, if we're taking a day, I'm gonna
The rest
look.
of the day, not the whole day.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, the rest of the day is the whole day, right? That's.
It's 6 p.m. right now.
Okay, well, yes, but it was more. I'm gonna cast the spell then. It's like, okay, puzzle box with the amulet.
Can we not do it while we're working?
Zarius, who's sitting on the floor. It's like,
Why are you not helping? Says Tokus as he starts dragging as he's dragging things, moving them around.
well, I point at all the ladders I climb and all the ropes. I can't. It's quite far.
It is not far, and I definitely cannot do this alone. Victoria has one hand.
Why not just put it in the boat?
I can't carry the boat out of this place.
Well, no, but you transport the boat through the parts of the water that allows you to.
We can't take the boat through this cavern outside.
Yeah, but you can make it small and big every time, right?
Yeah, but the things on the boat won't stay on the boat.
Yeah, no, you put it on the boat, carry it through most of the parts of the water, then lift it over, then repeat the process.
This is nonsensical. How am I supposed to put this crate on this boat if you can't get out of this chamber?
I point at all the water.
Uh-huh. And how do you get the crates through this nice little rocky passage?
You lift it.
The boat.
No, the box. You lift it, then you make the boat smaller, put it on the other side, make it bigger again.
Why add this step of overcomplication?
Because who the frick wants to carry the entire box through the cavern?
Anyone that can lift it?
It's like, I can't. I'm climbing over the ropes. It's not really me within reach.
Sometimes you're incredible, Zarius. He says as
I
he
know.
pulls out
I'm always
a
incredible.
potion and he chugs him down and throws the vial back into his backpack. I'll do it myself. But you want to do things the right way, you got to do it yourself. My mom wasn't wrong.
I'm willing to help as long as I don't have to step in the water.
Yes, yes. One day you're gonna fall in the water and I'm gonna revel in watching you be there.
Okay, that just sounds mean for no reason.
Nah, I was joking. Alright, I'm going to qualify potion of giant strength, and I'm going to take the crates outside.
Alright. As I said, you guys can do this.
Alright.
Slipper potion. And drag everything outside. Where, if you would so like, you can put it on your folding boat.
Yeah, we will put it on the folding boat. That's gonna make it a lot easier to take it back to the ship.
With the time spent moving things and whatnot and going over the caverns, do we find anything that we may or may not have missed in our initial exploration?
Good question. Maybe like a mother pearl amulet or something like that.
You are so funny.
I know.
Is there anything in particular that you were looking for?
I just remember that we did not look at like all parts of some of the maps. I think that is mainly those areas I'm thinking of.
Well, one of those areas Ari did go into, and he looted some stuff already.
Oh, that's where the journal and the pipe
Correct.
was from. Okay, yeah.
And the crystal that he may or may not have told you about.
He did.
I did. I've told everyone about. I've written down Carol Prism.
He wasn't doing a rogue.
I also have logged pipe from Lost Cave in Shipgrave Reef.
Yep. Good stuff.
I also have logged Aether logged box with Aether logged algae.
Was there any other place we didn't look? because we figured out that the gate linked up to one of the other paths.
Yeah, it leads back to the entrance.
Yeah. And we dove
We
down.
just
We
didn't-
found the chest.
We just didn't pull the levers.
Yeah, I don't know then if it was any other part of any of the maps that we actually missed then.
There was a couple piles of like, I don't want to say random shit. It is stuff from ships and whatnot that you could have like
Yeah.
sieved through. There are tide pools that have critters in them. There are, it's mostly a natural cavern.
We could check the piles of broken ship parts. Maybe we can find some useful stuff.
Yeah.
We also we already brought back the figurehead that we found from the wreckage, so that's not a problem. Yeah, I guess we can search through those things. Files.
You can if you'd like to.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. If we do manage to safely get to the ship all the way back, I know what I want to do. Just
That's
cast
nice.
knock on the box later.
You may do that. First though. Roll me a d12 if you're sorting through those, if you're rifling through these piles.
D12, you say? She laughed.
You go through a pile of like mostly wooden stuff, hoping to maybe find some good wood, because finding good wood in the Expanse, brilliant, very useful, considering most of the wood fights back.
Huh?
What?
Most of the wood fight back.
Yeah, trying to obtain it from trees that fight back is not an easy endeavor.
No, that's fair.
Good. You find that most of the wood is beyond salvaging, having been rotten through from being aetherlogged for so long. You do find a very good peg leg. It even has a little secret compartment in it. You can put some coins.
Oh, yeah, might as well bring that for good old peg leg.
You will also find that in the other crate that you guys left earlier, there was a flag. It is a white flag which has a black conch on it.
Conch
Mm-hmm.
is the Legends flag.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can take it to the Reapers and cash in some points.
You could, yeah. Get some reputation, you know?
Yeah.
Right, that's pretty good. And then we have the ivory chest.
There we go. You can return to your ship. Your little folding boat is loaded full a lot more than when you set out towards the Isles. and dragging everything aboard takes a little bit of elbow grease, especially the large contraption shaped like a fish dog thing. The deck itself groans underneath the heft of this object.
Big.
Oh, but your ship holds.
Big.
On your return, you saw the flash of something in the crow's nest. And Vincent will soon, clamber up there. But we will get to that another time, because he's not currently present. And you guys can return to do what you would like to do. As the working part of the day is over, at least.
Well, everyone ready?
Yeah. Fire it up.
Okay. I'll go over to the chest. Look at my compatriots who hopefully have gathered around. And I'll cast Knock on it. Knock. To temporarily suppress the magical lock. If there is one. Let's see. Object by mundane blah blah blah.
If it is held shut by the arcane lock spell, yes.
Yeah, by mundane or magical means that prevent access.
A loud knock cuts across the surface of the ship and ripples out across the aether. The ivory chest shudders in place, vibrates so fiercely that its corners momentarily lift off of the ground. And then the lid pops open ever so much with the shuddering hiss of a snake.
Well,
Well, that worked.
that went better than expected.
Definitely. So the contents are not dangerous.
You probably just hear Vittoria mumble like, better than expected. No, that was a really great mindset.
Let's open it up.
Clippity clap. We open it up.
And so you do. Inside of the box, Tokas, you already know what you're going to find, Although you only know the feeling of what it feels like to rest inside of the box. And so it makes sense what's inside of it. But at the same time, you see this thing for the first time just like everyone else.
It's a person.
No, it's not it's not the person.
Damn.
You see, a trident.
Blinka. I definitely recognize this, and if I think it's the same thing I saw, then I think I also know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't hold us in suspense.
Lucas reaches out for this thing. Well, I saw a merfolk wheel this to make buildings out of ether, not probably the trident. I mean, I would imagine it was mostly the merfolk, but they were wielding this thing, and if my assumption is correct, it must have had something to do with it. I still have some magic left in me. I could take a look. See if it's dangerous. Because it, might be.
Well, there's usually.
There's one option.
I was gonna say there's usually two reasons you put a weapon or an item in a chest. Either you want to keep it safe, or you want to keep it locked up and away from others.
Yeah,
because
keep people safer from it, you know.
But hey, I suppose you could learn some things from it.
Oh, I can learn what it does, definitely.
We can vibe check it.
That's not going to tell you what it does.
No, but it lets you. It tells you what kind of feeling you get from it.
I mean, you can feel it as much as you want. I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. He says as he pulls out a little pearl of his own from his wrist bracelet, and he begins to cast Identify. He sits down, he opens one eye. Just take a look. While I'm doing this, you can tell us what you feel.
Okay. I'm gonna open up my witch sight. Let's feel it. Oh, not too great, but not the worst.
Zaris, you reach out towards this item to try and get a sense of its magical potential. There is great magical potential here, but there is also a sort of hollow that you sense. The same kind of hollowness that other objects that spellcasters may use also have. The sort of tubular feeling, the feeling of going down a slide, of pushing something into it and it coming out much faster and much stronger, as this is most assuredly a magical focus on top of being just a magical item.
Well, this is definitely going to be good for something.
Lucas with the eyes closed. That's usually most things.
No, it's a focus. It's it's something to guide you. It's a magic caster tool on top of being a weapon.
It's good that we know now. I had the same uh, kind of conclusion when I saw a magical merfolk use it to make these buildings out of Ethereum. We can go there eventually. Oh man, I'm losing my focus. Ugh.
Oh, this is gonna be. I'm curious what it does.
Yeah, I'll identify the trident or bident. Oh, trident. No mind.
You receive a vision of how this trident comes to be. But it is a slow one. In the span of this spell, hundreds of years pass for you as slowly, below the surface of an ocean that is infinite, sediment heaps up, and corals begin to form and grow alongside of it. And out of all the billions of untold structures beneath the waves, this one is created just right. The perfect shape for a focus for a young sorceress. A tool to give rather dangerous magic a shape and amplify it in all the right spaces. You briefly travel with the trident as it leaves the eternal seas and ends up in the starry ones where everything is so very different. Where the people are injured and afraid and hungry, but not all the people trust that your wielder knows what they are doing. A schism occurs in the merfolk. Some of them follow your wielder, Larmia, and become merfolk of Larmia. And others move away, beyond your vision, beyond where you can sense them. You briefly wonder what becomes of them. But it matters not. Because you and Larmia have a job to do, and that is to create a new home in this place. And that is exactly what you do. Commanding the Aether to crystallize itself and grow new structures upon the isles to make a place where your people can truly be safe. Because you try to dig deeper for what this trident can actually do. And like you get a grasp of it because you've seen what it's done, but then when you try to like pick apart which part is the trident and which part was the sorcerers wielding it, you feel almost like a blockade. Like every time you try to look at it, someone stands in front of you and like shields you from being able to look at what you're trying to look at, or like someone
What
puts
the
their
fuck?
hands over your ears so you can't hear what's going on.
What the hell?
What a dick!
Whatever it is, Trident does not want you to know.
The fucking trident? Bitch ass. I'm gonna smack the loving hell out of you.
It simply lays there in its little chest.
Yeah, but I'll bury you 6 feet under the ocean.
Do something that hasn't been done already.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'll bury you 6 feet over the ocean.
So, what is it?
It's a focus, as you mentioned. It's some kind of magical weapon to help channel one's arcane prowess through it.
Might be useful for many here.
Yeah, well, I'm more thinking none of us really wield tridents. You have your giant scythe, Lawrence has a shining blade, I have my staff. It
I
can
know how to
probably be
wield a
useful.
trident.
Yeah,
Zari's
but-
also his hand out.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But you have your giant scythe thing.
Yeah. Also, I'm not like strong. You need to be strong to use a trident.
Well, that's also the problem. I don't think Lawrence is particularly mighty as well. Maybe Vittoria could, but Vittoria's not a spellcaster.
But like, what does
I-
it do? That was your spell, right? It shows what it does.
Well, I'm not sure. It seems that this item is vaguely enchanted so that I can't quite deter what it's supposed to do. I'm not sure if it's my spell or if there's some other reason why I can't gather more information regarding
I
it.
might know. I should have
Uh-huh.
thought about that. But I didn't know there was going to be a magic item. I thought it was going to be like gold.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, that's... We might need a necklace then, or an amulet. Perhaps we have to open it the right way.
Or you just got to feel it.
Haven't you already done that?
No, I felt it, but I hold out my hand.
Yeah, so you felt it.
No, yeah, but I hold out my hand.
No, but yeah, it's not a sentence, Arius. What?
I'm gonna show you
No, but
something.
yeah.
What do you want to show me?
I'm holding my hand out.
Yeah,
still.
lovely hand. We're talking about a trident right now.
I feel like generally this means give me the trident.
Well, maybe generally you should say it. It places the trident on your hand.
And I'm just going to use some basic trident techniques with it. I imagine I'm not like the most experienced. Like I know how to use it like statistically. I just don't think Zarius would be like trained specifically how to use a scythe. I imagine he uses it much like a spear.
A scythe, like a spear?
No, the trident.
Because you just said scythe, and I was like,
Sorry, the trident as a spear.
Huh.
So he's gonna just do some general spear techniques. But as I'm flinging it around, I'm like,
It feels
I mean-
unwieldy.
I imagine it looks like it's heavy on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more attuned to it.
I suppose it could be trying out.
To feel the magic, so to say.
Needless to put that in there, but I have an empty slot. I say out of character because slots don't exist.
I was about to say out of character. I have an empty slot too. I
there you
didn't know how to mention that in character.
Yeah, I was about to say that
Character
maybe
I
that
have
doesn't
an
happen.
affinity for as well. I was gonna say.
Yeah, you,
sure
you
that-
could, but I feel like if it's a focus for magic
It's a
caster, it
focus,
might,
I
yeah.
know. That I was, however, going to say something in character, which
Mhm.
I am trying to remember because I was just about to open my mouth.
Cooked.
Yes, yeah, Victoria, as you guys are like talking about this and what to do and feeling it out and whatnot. He's like, so you said they were using like in whatever vision you had, they were using it to shape ether.
Ether.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right. Um. So that doesn't all seem familiar. You know, shaping things that usually doesn't like to be shaped.
Are you saying this is supposed to be Shadow Steel or something?
I mean, kind of from what you're describing, it sounds a bit similar of how they were.
Oh no! This is a focus. This is not per se the Shadow Steel. I mean, the person that was wielding the trident was solidifying Ethereum into matter that is not poisonous. The question is whether that's part of the trident's ability or it was simply the spellcaster that was doing so.
Well, be worth a shot. I'm gonna try to do it.
That's not how magic items work, Zarius.
Lazar's going to be busy with that for an hour. What about everyone else? Emil is on the ship. They're sitting there awkwardly.
Yeah.
About 10 feet away from them sits Atropos, like, just staring, and Emil is just staring back, but then neither of them say anything.
Well, I was about to say, well, if Zarius starts attuning to this thing, I'll go and begin my experiments. But I also have to rein in my daughter before she starts eating our new captain, third captain on the ship.
You guys should just make everyone captain. At that point, everybody is, like, the same, you know?
We should have 3 ships.
Oh, that's a good idea. There's one that's kind of rotten in this place.
That's okay. We got a pearl that can buy a dozen. We're good. But yeah, what Dokus will do if Zarius starts attuning is to go to Emil and first and foremost greet his daughter, even though I'm sure he already has. And make sure that she doesn't bite the Murrow. And they will sit down. Hi. Yeah, so we're mostly done with offloading everything. I have a few questions, if you don't mind, about those. And he points at the little tendrils.
Before you do that, Vittorio, did you also want to say something or do something?
I mean, yeah, I can bring that conversation up later because I was going somewhere with the whole Shadow Steel thing. But
We can continue, that's no problem.
Yeah, please continue.
yeah, no, but Victoria, but he's like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying it is Shadow Steel. I'm just saying, doesn't it sound a bit familiar of how they could shape this substance and the caretakers could shape the Shadow Steel?
Sort of, but not really. I mean, the caretakers adopted a light spectrum to bend and mold a sentient living material. I mean, this is also sentient and not living, but I already have a theory that precedes this, whereas most communication done by creatures that have adapted to Ethereum seems to base on a similar structure with caretaker language. It is my current hypothesis that perhaps these ancient celestial travelers that have, well, arrived in the expanse and eventually met their doom due to some sort of divine-like power that they have created and then brought upon themselves, might very well be the caretakers. The location doesn't match with their ship out in Arkhona, but I've already discussed with Vincent that many other things seem to become extremely similar. If you think about it, they rebuilt civilization and brought back extinct races. And the only people or individuals that can really give life to people that we know of are gods.
I mean, yeah, like that's what I was going for. That
Yeah.
sounds like yeah, they're pretty similar. The caretakers and whoever came before here.
That's what Vincent. That's what I was discussing with Vincent as well when we were on the ship. Though I think it's unrelated with the trident and the people that were wielding it. Those are merfolks.
Mhm. Yeah, it might be unrelated.
Well, I will be in contact with this absolutely hilarious liquid for the best part of our journey. So maybe I can get some insights out of it. Maybe you can talk to the ether. Who knows? Well, I think you can. I've seen memories of merfolks doing it, but I don't think we can have proper conversations unless I was having a
What if
thought earlier, but I guess I'll have to
what if
figure it out.
what if the Shadow Steel's just Aether logged?
Is- Wait, is this Zarius?
Yeah. You say as he's swinging the sword, the trident.
I mean, no, that's impossible.
Why? What if iron, like metals left out in Aether for a very long time, turns into Shadow Steel, a living, growing creature?
The shadow steel comes from outside of this planet, Zarius.
Where do you think we are?
On a different realm, but we had to cross a gate to come here. Shadow steel doesn't belong in a different dimension.
I mean, I think there might be some merit to what Vittorio's thinking.
Well, Victoria's thinking is the same thing I've said. You're talking of something different. Shadow steel is not aether-logged metal. It is an alien material.
I don't know. If it both reacts and shapes.
Well,
Might not be the same thing, but Vittorio's point of that they might be related in some way doesn't sound like the craziest if you think about it for a little bit.
I think it does sound crazy. It's like saying how potatoes and bananas are the same because you can eat them. Well,
Wait a minute.
you can reshape Shadow Steel, and you can reshape Ethereum even though you shouldn't. But that's the same that goes for metal. If you think about it, no one knew how to reshape iron until they discovered that a hot enough fire can melt it.
My uncle told me once. If you blow on something a lot, then it becomes hotter. That's how we realized how to melt the first iron.
Yeah, I guess that might be one of the few ways that people figure it out. But I don't think there's correlation between Ethereum and...
I get it. That's funny.
What?
Correlation?
Oh,
No?
no, that was
Oh.
definitely.
Ooh.
But good hearing, I suppose. That's yeah. But yeah, I do think there is some common history between caretakers and these astral travelers. Perhaps we'll find more chances to find out something about them. If we go to the drakes, maybe. I know there's giant astral turtles. I would love to talk to one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, suppose we'll see when we get there.
Suppose so, yeah.
I'll tell you, Zaris, after an hour, you still don't feel like you have this thing under control.
I imagine it as much. Weird.
It still doesn't feel right. Like, every time you swing with it, like, if you move it back, it feels like it's too front heavy. If you move it forward, it feels like it's too back heavy. It is so unwieldy, this thing.
It's heavy. But there is one more person we could let try out this weapon.
No, Lawrence, perhaps. I mean, it makes sense. It is made for sorcerers.
I wasn't particularly thinking Lawrence.
Oh, who else?
I don't know if they're a caster, though.
You know you can name them.
I thought you could link...
It's a clickbait.
I mean, that's how Mark speaks. Mark speaks in clickbait. No. We could give it to the denizen of this realm that might, have more correlation to the weapon.
They turn around to Emil. Captain? Can you weave spells?
3 people, like, turn their head up. Or you say Captain.
Right, Captain Emil.
Unless you say it in Primordial, in which case...
Yeah, that probably, because they only understand...
Only, like, 2 people turn their head around or something. But you called me.
No, I was referring to the other... we have a third captain now. It's getting a bit
I'm
cramped.
done with all of you lot.
Well, whoa, okay. Well, they're not actively captaining.
No, they're simply biding their time, waiting for me to screw up and take my place.
No, definitely not. They also can't speak, so they would definitely not be a good captain. For us, I mean.
Fabulous. We got one who can't speak, and we got one that speaks too much.
I suppose we have all the spectrum now. Turns around to Emil. So, can you cast magic spells? Can you weave?
And you'll just blink out at you guys.
I splinker back at them.
They don't say anything because they can't.
I look at the tendril. I just point at my knee.
They're just like hanging limply by their side as she's sitting on this ship, looking at all the people. There's like your crew is walking all around, like getting your ship ready.
Yeah. I look at Tokas, and I move my arm up and down for yes, and then I move my arm left to right for no. And I say that in Primordial.
Emil stares at the both of you dumbfounded and then like moves their arm.
They can also nod or shake their head.
They move their arm no.
Well, that's one less.
Yeah, no, you got a point.
Honestly, I don't think we need this kind of thing. What I think is it would probably fetch us a good amount of reputation with merfolk if we were able to bring it back.
I mean, yeah, but a focus?
Everyone already has their mythical equipment, or whatever you want to call it. Zarius, I know it is the spirit of adventure to scrounge and use all this loot, but do you really believe Lawrence will be able to cast spells while swinging a sword and a trident in each hand?
I mean, no, but swords, like, he doesn't need to hold the sword if he's not fighting in front of people.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure that the people that have used this trident for generations to make their dwellings will need it more than us, especially when we get out of this place.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying it's worth a shot to let Lawrence give it a shot.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely curious to see if he can make it
I mean,
work.
imagine having to. I mean, you haven't experienced ship combat, but you know how terrifying that is.
And that I would assume it's pretty scary.
I just remember the explosions from the visions, but imagine if you could just, instead of making a house of crystal, just make a big crystal in front of where a ship goes.
Zarius, how long do you think it takes to make a house? It wasn't instantaneous. I can tell you that much.
I did not have this vision, Tokas. Magic item makes poof.
Right. I can tell you they don't make poof. It is an art to weave Ethereum into solid matter, especially since it's a conscious liquid. So I can tell you it definitely cannot create giant icebergs in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, then yeah, you're more right. I'm sorry. I didn't know. You just made it sound like it could just whip him up.
Well, I apologize for having my words misunderstood, but
No, but it's fine. You're right. It's just I'm gonna give it to Lawrence. You try it.
Lawrence is looking like he's been to war and back.
I think we can give him a day or two.
Yeah. Some are hermit crabs, not saltwater crabs. Oh, my language is never going to be useful.
How can it be salt water if this is a theory?
Yeah.
You have to go to the islands where they have tide pools of water coming in from the elemental plains.
Yeah, you're right. No, well,
The elemental expanse of salt water.
then again, we could even just sell this and it will fetch a decent price. And we need a starting capital here.
Would
outside
prefer
of the trade
not
agreement.
selling it. I mean, we could and
Sell it
get,
to the people that are gonna use it.
I suppose.
Didn't
But again,
we just talk about how it would be great to give this back to the merfolk?
yes, but Zarius thinks about money first, which you would think of a merchant to do, but I guess I've not been raised that way. To be honest, I wasn't my profession
it's not just about money.
Oh, yeah.
If you ask for some kind of reward, they don't feel like they're in debt to you.
Well, you shouldn't presume that people feel in debt to you because you've done them a good deed.
This isn't just a good deed. You're talking about giving them I'm not sure if it's a legendary item, in terms of how
has a
rare
legend
it
behind
is.
it.
But if you're talking about giving someone a weapon from Legends, that's how probably even stranger here that is. If someone back home were to give the Ember, is there like a big mythical legendary item in Ember
You can't
Kern?
ask me this after we spent half of the campaign looking for them.
No, I more mean one that is in Legends of Ember Kern. Like I know of
Ember
one.
Kern.
Yeah, is there like an Ember Kern legendary item that would be like in myths and tales, like the sword of King Arthur?
Not exactly the sword of King Arthur, but there was an item set for Dragonborn from the time where you cleaved to a different faith. But obviously those items are outlawed now.
Yeah. Is there a name for them? Like, is it just like a mythical bad name?
I mean, I don't want to call it a bad name. It's just from the Sacred Flame. It is the Sacred Flame
Yeah.
item set.
But it'd be like if you gave one of the items of the Sacred Flame to, the rebellious Dragonborn in Ember Kern. They're not going to be like, oh, wow, thank you. They're going to be like, what's the fucking catch?
That's
And if you-
just you,
and if you're-
Zarius.
And no, that's not just me. That's just how people work.
I don't think so. We've literally freed an entire village of a vampiric overlord, and they definitely don't said, what's the catch?
But there you're freeing someone. Here you're essentially giving something worth
For
money.
free!
Yeah, but the act isn't particularly worth a set amount of money.
Well, Zarius, I think that your point is sort of contradictive, because adventurers always ask for payment for their acts. We didn't ask for payment in Vagwell. We simply buried a vampiric overlord under hundreds of tons of rubble under his manor. We completely freed them of their zombie-like invasion, and we even defeated Father Lycan. And we didn't ask for a single penny. And yet we are adventurers. So you see...
I'm just saying we should ask some compensation for it.
I don't agree.
We need a starting capital here anyway.
I think it's not going to be...
You keep saying starting capital. Don't the merfolk specifically from this vision or whatever, don't they live literally on the other side of...
Precisely. We'd have to go all the way to the Consolation Isle. And that's definitely not going to be a starting capital. That's going to take us a month at least.
Yeah.
Money's money. I don't know what to say.
Vittorio was like standing there, you know, it was like looking between the two of you. Next to Vittorio are on one side Alari and Atropos, and on the other side Emil, like looking back and forth as the two of you are arguing about money.
Anyway, it's a conversation for later anyway.
Suppose so. Well, for now we can stash it back in there and think about what to do with this eventually. I feel
I
like
wouldn't stash it back in there.
The box is already closed again.
Yeah.
well, we can stash it somewhere, though I'd prefer it in its rightful place, but I suppose we can think about what to do with it when the time comes. I feel like having it in the pocket for whenever we need a favor with the merfolk could be useful.
Osiris looks at you just as like, really? Really?
What?
Nothing.
Alright. Well, guess that's over with.
Well, I wouldn't say I need a round of sleep because honestly, today was a pretty good day. But I do want to have a talk with someone.
Well, I hope that someone is available. He says as he turns around to Emil. I need to talk with you about some ideas I've had. I also need to talk with Jace about them, but I suppose we can do it all together. You haven't met Jace, right? I think you should meet Jace.
Emil just blinks at you.
Douglas
Then
gives
looks at
out.
everyone else.
Douglas gives out his hand towards Emil. Come.
They're gonna give you a tendril. Xarius tells at you.
Yeah, you eventually receive a tendril.
I plug the tendril in my central matrix. Alright, I'm gonna meet someone that can probably help you. And help me. And we can help them. It's going to be enlightening. Come on. He says as he grabs Emil by the hand and starts leading her downstairs.
This is a torturous process as Emil is not made to walk on land.
I was about to say, I imagine she'd mostly be in the water here, around the ship.
She's like crawling around.
We're gonna need to add some wheels to that one.
She's crawling down the
What?
stairs. Flump.
Flumpa.
Some of the crew seem not so so comfortable. Some of them are a little bit afraid of what's going on.
It is okay.
Taldros has like his fiery, shiny eyes, but he remains at the helm.
Totally.
You lead Emil into the bowels of the ship.
Yeah. I go seek out the quartermaster.
She's having a good old time. There's very little to do. All the bookkeeping has been done for this entire 10-day that you guys have decided not to make a move.
Yippee!
I don't want to make a move.
So she's just sitting in the quarters, reading a book.
Double knock. Spaced with triple knock. Jay, you occupied?
Gas, you're back?
Peeks through the door. I am back.
Atropos, look, he's back. Atropos? Thud, thud, thud. The door slams open.
Blinka.
Tokas, I don't know where she is. Like, she was
She's-
literally here just like a moment ago. We were just reading a book together,
She's
and then...
upstairs. She's upstairs. She's playing with Alari. It's okay. I look to my side. I look at the mirror. So this is Jace. She's my companion. I turn around to Jace. Jace, this is Emil. This is the Marrow captain that we rescued from ship Grave Reef. Long story. Captain of the legend. Ship crashed here. They were a merfolk. Now they're a Marrow.
Jace looks up at this, like, 15-foot long, like, monstrosity towering over her with the giant lamp eyes that glow in the dark. Holy nuts and bolts, that's really cool. Hi.
They are
There's no
actually mute.
response. She looks at you.
They're mute. Also, I'm not sure if they speak common, but I've had a crazy idea. You see, he says as he points at the tendril that's attached to his head, they can communicate through some sort of bioelectrical impulse that is sent directly to your nervous system, right here. And he points at his spine. So I was considering, it is some kind of telepathy, but it's also chemically induced. I've got some ideas.
Yeah. I mean, well, pardon me. I'm glad Atropos stood here. Okay. I wonder if they could, like, puppeteer us around if they wanted to. You know, it's all biochemical, you know, electricity. And
If they can send impulses through your central nervous system, they can probably command your limbs with enough effort, but I don't think they know how to do that. What I think is that I could probably turn those electrical signals into an encoding of sentences and words. I have had this idea the moment I saw it about some kind of broadcasting device.
okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right?
Right.
So
Not going to be easy.
I think it's going to be fabulous, he says as he turns around to the mirror with a little grin.
Emil just looks at you. I'm Emil.
Yes, you are Emil, and you can't speak with other people unless you put these little tendrils into their heads. And you know what the problem is? A lot of people don't like it when you put tendrils into their spine. So I'm gonna make you able to speak again.
Emil can speak.
But not with your mouth.
They
Well-
touch their mouth for a moment.
Well, I can't make you speak with your mouth, anyways, but I'm going to make you able to speak with people even though you don't have your little tendrils stuck around their nape.
Mm.
You see, not a lot of people like it. And I'm sure it's going to get useful eventually when you can't, get up close to people and stab them in the neck with your thing.
Okay,
Great.
friend.
Turns around, gives Chase the thumbs up. All right.
Emil
well-
touches the ship. Ship.
Yes. Well, we have got this. We found a. Well, I'll tell you all the stories after we get settled down, I suppose, at dinner. There is a new contraption that I managed to bring back. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but I think I need some help figuring it out.
Sure. I mean, I was just reading, so like I can look right now.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're wondering, come back upstairs. He
Yes.
looks up on the mill. It's gonna take a little bit, but we can do it. We should install ramps.
Emil's just sitting there. She's like turned away from you. You can just hear humming in her head, and she's got this like pearl laying in her hand.
Emil, do you want to stay here? Do you want to come up top?
Emil is thirsty.
Do you drink water or do you drink Ethereum?
They contemplate this like your question for a moment, and then they pinch their skin. Skin thirsty.
This is a problem. I think we can solve it by likely going up top, getting a barrel of Ethereum on the ship. It'll be dangerous, but necessary as well.
Emil begins the arduous process of climbing up the stairs.
That gave me a great idea. Perhaps you could have an opening panel at the bottom of the ship that leads directly into the ether. But then if you open it, it will flood the ship, so maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe a vacuum chamber could be. No, I think it'd take too
I
much
don't know if
time.
I would call it a vacuum chamber, but it is not unheard of for some of the larger ships to have like ballast tanks that can flood with. Well, normally it'd be water so that the ship stays under, because there's not enough cargo, but you need to be careful about not having too much cargo and having your ship tip over or even go under all the way because you have too much cargo and you have too much water in your ballast. Okay, yeah.
We should definitely consider it. He says as he
A lot of modifications is what I'm hearing. Not a lot of time.
Well, we have
But
a
I'll make it
year.
work.
That'll be plenty of time.
Oh yeah, I mean in a year I can do that, no problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, upstairs. She said as she stands there waiting.
Yeah, it's gotta take. Oh yeah, we need a bath. That's so true.
On the side of the ship.
I can make that. I'll stone shape it.
To make glass.
Well, not the glass, but at least the container, and then we get the glass panels. Or it can just be a container without glass. I think the glass is just a decorative thing.
Crazy work.
But yeah, we'll bring it upstairs. And yeah, I guess we'll have to help Emil get a dip, I suppose. We have a barrel that's enchanted, but there's gunpowder in it.
Yes, you can't really take a dip in gunpowder. I mean, you could, but...
Yeah.
Anywho. What would you like to do for this evening, party? I say evening, but it is the same dim light as it always is here.
Outside of giving our lovely, lovely little Halari and Atropos a little bit of attention, and repeating Alari's tricks, just to make sure that they, just to make sure that they stick. I would like to find Delphine.
You're not alone in this regard.
I know. We're gonna be the same type of parents as we are to Alari. Completely the opposite.
Siblings.
Hate that.
You gotta go to the fiend. We have to teach you how to do the triple jump today. What I don't want to, I miss my
Do your
walls.
fucking
I
trick and
didn't
don't get
ask
dinner.
you. I rolled a 24 on crittery. Jump now.
That sure
That's not what I mean.
No, that sure sounds like Terry.
Now, Delphine, wear this 45-pound metal dummy on top of your back. You have to learn how to become a mount.
She takes a lot of time in the bird's nest, right?
She does, yes. Although
I'm
today,
climb.
there's
No.
2 other people in the bird's nest.
They're
And
there
it's
with
not Delphine.
Damn. Then I'm gonna look for Delphine elsewhere. Just around the ship.
There aren't many places that she can go, but you will find her all the way on the prow. The sticky out part of the ship at the front.
Anyone else that's already there? Or is it just me for now?
Corio has left an offering of seashells.
Damn.
I don't know if he wants to actually go to her, though.
I mean, I was intending to put it where we sleep, I guess.
That's fine, you can do that.
Because yeah, he knows that she's not really talking with him at the moment.
Very well. You can leave it there.
Kind of beautiful, isn't it? Gonna walk up.
Delphine perks up. She turns to you. I do like it.
I'm gonna stand next to her.
It's like the sky has fallen into the water.
And then it reflects back towards the sky. It's very pretty. It's like a rainbow is mixed into the water. How are you holding up?
I don't have a lot to do.
Yeah, that's sometimes the two of us, although I do have to steer the ship.
I think I'm alright.
You sure? Okay, not to be alright sometimes. Or angry or upset.
There's no moon in the sky here. I feel weird.
Weird how?
She wobbles her legs. Looks down at the water and then at the sky. And shrugs. There's just no moon in the sky. I don't think you would get it.
I don't think I do. Are you and Vittorio back on speaking terms?
I haven't spoken to him, if that's what you're asking.
Well, sort of.
No, I haven't spoken to him.
Still upset about it?
No, I think I'm okay. Just didn't feel like speaking.
I get it. You spend more time with them than you did with us, really. But maybe you should go talk to him. Or he should come and talk to you. It's a two-way street, I know. It's just... I'm worried for him.
Why?
Just... things are happening to him. And... sure he'll be fine. I just worry a little bit. And I think he also worries about you.
I mean, I'm okay. But if he's not, should we not do something?
I think so too. But in the end, that's also up to Vittorio. And that's not what I'm talking about right now. Right now, just have a talk with him. Just... it's one worry that will be off his chest.
She kind of like tilts her head to the side and looks in the water. Okay. Yeah.
Only if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, that's all. I rummaged through my things. I did have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
outside of this entire thing, and I might be a bit of a sore spot right now, but you knew them better than I did. I was thinking, you know, what were each of them good at? Like dark paws under a moonlit sky, red eyes of the loud water, silver nose in wet grass, and summer cow dances in the winter fields. Whew. I flip out a paper.
What do you want to know?
Well, have you ever had your mom sing little tales like to you when you couldn't sleep?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I make all these songs about us. Wouldn't it be fun to have like a song about them? Like a children's song, maybe?
I think that'd be nice.
We can sing it together.
I don't think I can sing.
Everyone can sing.
No, I'm pretty sure some people sound really bad when they sing.
But they're still singing. It's about
Just
having a good
badly.
time. Have you ever didn't you hear like yesterday when everyone was singing and dancing? Half the crew couldn't even keep pace. They were all having fun.
I suppose that's true. It just makes my ears hurt a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's like when Vittorio starts singing, it's like a bear growling.
Yeah, it is. I actually heard bears that were a lot quieter than that.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that. Alari and well, Alari tries to sing with sometimes. It's more chirping, but anyway, I flip out the page and I'll spend like half an hour or like an hour talking to her about the wolves. Not per se. Well, I am going to try and write a little like children's song, but more as just to talk about it and like help her like relax and just generally have something to do. Before I will, I'll probably fetch Alari to sit here with. Sit here with.
He's
Just
also
so.
good at sitting still, but he will try.
I mean, he can just prance about. As
You
long as he
fetch
doesn't jump
Alari.
over the
He was
edge.
playing with Atropos.
Bounces off the
Atropos. Eve was playing with Atropos. Atropos just walks off by herself to do whatever she wants.
Definitely not.
There's no
Whoa.
one to supervise.
I'm keeping a fucking tiny leash on you. What do you think?
She goes to the captain and sits next to him.
I was just
No.
be like, did you know that Alari already knows a little bit how to have a person riding on top of his back?
He seems kind of small for that.
Yeah, no,
Well-
that's why I got this. I show like the little doll, like just to put him with a little
I don't-
cord and just put it on his back.
I don't understand what the use is of like having a doll right on top of him.
Well, it means he's getting used to having something on top of his back.
100-pound iron doll.
No, no.
The 1,000-pound tungsten Iron Maiden on top of his
I
back.
put an immovable rod on his back.
If Alari,
Yeah,
if
I'll
Alari
just be
makes
like-
the doll drop, it closes down on him.
I'll just be like, learn how to move with this, and you'll be the strongest out there.
The
Zarius, when he has a
one-punch griffin.
kid, here's a 50-pound sword. Wield it, infant. The baby, when he can't lift it up, sorry, wife, we need to
A
make a new
tungsten saddle.
one. Tungsten saddle. Yeah.
So cute.
When I go to the blacksmith and I ask him to make a saddle 5 times as heavier as normal.
Delphine says, "Oh, of course," but she had not thought about the fact that this is for later. She just thought that you wanted a doll to ride on top of him, like.
No,
They-
no.
What my baby can do! Ride!
Later,
No,
she will go to Vittorio, though.
Yeah. And I'll just have a like. I'll basically like again try to amend a bit more with the crew and just play for the rest of the evening. I know technically I don't have to pay to stay on the ship, so
You
my
are
ability to
earning
do
your
that is
room and
just-
board as we speak.
Yeah,
He's
no,
earning
no,
his reputation karma back.
I mean, I'm
He's
basically like
aura
starting a
farming on the
party.
ship.
I just put one foot on the prow, stand like very proudly, then take one look down and jump backwards, so terrified.
Hey there.
Aura lost.
But yeah,
Alari also tries to stand on the prow but
No,
falls off
back.
and immediately goes into the netting.
I will sometimes do like a little throw and catch with Alari.
Straight up just throwing a Larry off the ship? Wow.
No,
Oreo,
not off
I
the
think you should
ship.
call Child Protective Services.
I put him in the
No.
cannon and I shoot him out at the island and then I,
No, no,
Did he respawn behind you? Yeah,
no,
definitely.
no.
That's
But
gonna work.
I'll catch him, but so that Alari learns to flap the wings. Also, I want you to know the last time we weighed Alari weighed 19.5 pounds. I did the recalculation. Alari now weighs 40.1 pounds.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Atropos by now is taller, as big as fucking Tokas and Jace.
She's like a fucking small-sized creature at this point. That's crazy work,
I,
man.
I want to say it can finally grapple Tokas, but a rat can do that too. So I don't think that's much
Jesus
of a
Fuck
Christ!
is the shade I get for nothing.
That's true. Radigan could probably.
Radigan sometimes Tokas wakes up with some little paws around his neck and he's like, "Oh, a cuddle from Radigan," and Radigan is there. Oh, I failed again.
One day.
What are we
Only
going
the
to do?
chosen.
What are we going to do tomorrow, Radigan? The same thing we do every time, Atropos. Take over the world!
The pinky and the brain.
Atropos is the pinky.
Yeah,
The baby, some little pinky.
Atropos and Radigan.
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
I think she would eat them if I didn't fucking tell her not to.
Yeah, probably.
Literally, birds eat these fucking creatures as a normal diet.
Snack. She has a pretty good understanding of what she's not supposed to. She just wants to try.
I know.
The intrusive thoughts are
But this is
huge
one
within
thing
her.
you shouldn't try. Here's how to regulate your intrusive thoughts 101.
Alright. Where will Delphine find Vittorio later that evening?
Well, probably finds him then. What's it called? Yeah, after or when he's putting the shell or conch next to her sleeping arrangements. Since earlier he he was trying to talk with Bastian and whatnot, and then after that he would have gone to the quarters and he's like putting that there, probably taking off most of his gear.
You put the conch down, and just in that moment you hear, "What are you doing?"
He turns around like he's been caught in the act of like doing something bad or something. Looks at Delphine. He blinks like, oh, I that was just something I found on the island before we came back. Yeah, you could. Yeah, figure maybe you would like it.
It's pretty. Is this one talk in my sleep too?
No, at least I don't think so. Haven't heard it talk. Also, I think. Wonder if Vincent is done listening to that soon. Anyway, that's. Hi.
Hello.
You,
I'm doing okay.
That's good. You've been able to, you know, you doing things, so you feel like you're actually doing something.
I'm usually busy during, well, when I'm awake. I don't have much to do right now.
Oh, yeah, no, I know you're spending a lot of time up in the crow's nest.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Did you see the new person we brought back?
Only a little bit.
Hmm.
Are they a fish person?
I'm not really sure what they are. They used to be a fish person, like a merfolk. But something happened to them after they got shipwrecked here, and they kind of slowly turned into what they are now. But yeah, they've been shipwrecked here a pretty long time. It's yeah, we're gonna help them out and take them to one of the islands. Like, not one of these. I'm sure you've heard some of the crew talk about like the Isle of Drakes.
I heard that they're pirates.
Yeah. We'll just have
I
to.
don't really know what that means.
Well,
I guess, well, bandits on the sea.
yeah, pretty much. We'll just have to be.
Are we pirates?
Like, he looks around. I mean, we're not bandits, so I wouldn't call us pirates.
What makes you a bandit?
No, usually stealing from other people. You know, often killing people to take their stuff.
What if you didn't kill someone, but you still took their stuff?
I mean, yeah, you could still be a bandit if you do that.
Are we bandits then?
I no.
But we
I
took things when we were in the Temple of Truth.
well, yeah, but those are things that have been buried for a long time. We didn't like take them from people.
But the people are dead. And you just said that if the people are dead and you take their stuff, then you could be a bandit.
No, I meant, like, if you know, bandits usually either they threaten people and take their stuff, or they kill people and take their stuff if the threats don't work. That's kind of more what I meant.
Oh, okay. So it's okay if you don't threaten them.
I mean, if I don't know if I would, like, call it okay. I mean, if you're taking stuff by force, that's not really okay in general.
He mulls this over for a moment. Okay.
Mm.
I just wanted to say that I'm not upset that we're here.
You can see like Dora's facial expression just kind of changes a little bit. He's like, oh, I mean that's good. Damn, she starts filing her nails.
It wasn't her, it was me rolling my fidget magnets around.
Oh, fair enough. Buck, what, yes, what was I sure gonna say? Yeah, no, he's like, yeah, I can, like, yeah, me saying that I'm sorry that it had to be that way, it's not really gonna change much, but yeah, you already know. I'm sorry about it.
It's okay.
At the very least, once we're back, they should still be waiting for us. You know, hoping that they don't make Terabella too mad.
They won't.
Yeah, you've taught them well.
They know how to behave. They're just themselves.
I know. You know, if you're feeling like strange after we've been here for a while, because there's no moon or anything, we can talk about it with me.
And then what?
I don't know. Just talk about it. I don't really know what I can do about it, but maybe I can, like, think for a moment. Like, could maybe like make some kind of reverse tincture. I know how to make the one to like calm you down and revert you back to normal. Like, not you, but like lycanthropes. Maybe you could do something that works the other way around. I don't know. I mean, it's not like you can't turn on your own, or I don't know if you've tried.
No, I don't think the people here would like that.
Well, I don't know about they'd probably be confused why there's suddenly
I think they'd be scared.
well, yeah, maybe at first. But that's something we can deal with if it comes to it. Or rather, when it comes to it, I should say. Hmm. You know, we still have a few islands left here in this place to check out. You know, if you're up for it, could come with tomorrow. But you still want to stick around on the ship and get your bearings and stuff, that's also fine. We have a lot of time.
I will come. I just need to prepare the things for food first.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Victoria will pretty awkwardly, I guess, like move in for like a hug with. I mean, he has one good arm currently as well, so it's doubly awkward.
Sliced
She
in half.
allows it.
She what?
She allows it.
We'll give her a light hug and let's go. Like, okay. I'll stop by the kitchen if you need an extra hand.
Mm-hmm. Very well. Victoria and Delphine make up.
Yippee! Nature is healing.
And the party mostly settles down, I think, by this point.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll eat some dinner. Look over this weird fish contraption as we calm down for the evening. And then
I'm making
tomorrow-
sketches already.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what this fucking thing is. This giant statue that we brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is what I'm gonna try to do for that evening before I go to sleep. And then prepare the material because tomorrow the lessons begin.
So are you spending the evening looking into making the
No,
ancient
into
craft
the no.
thing, or-
That's something that takes an entire day, so I can't do it in an evening. What I'm spending the evening in doing is asking Jace for help and try to figure out what the fish dog thing that we brought back actually is, because I know it's a machine of some sort, but I didn't manage to figure out what it did.
Or the two of you can do that.
Massive.
What's on the menu for tomorrow?
Well, I mean, we still have Low Island, Tektite Island, and we don't talk about Cork Bottle Island.
Yeah, but we do have the other two islands. We could go check them over, take Delphine as well if she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll also begin my schooling program for Atropos with all my stuff that I bought from Moltenheim.
I'll also continue my schooling program for Larry.
Big.
I mean, pet school.
Yeah, no, that's the joke.
You mean the new 50-pound metal dummy that I upgraded from your
Now that
5-pound
now that you weigh 40 pounds, you can take this 40-pound dumbbell and put it on your back.
No, that's only when she gets to a medium size. That's when he gets to a medium size. That's when I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Tokas."
stone shape human.
Sit on his back.
No, I was telling you to sit on his back.
So guys,
Stone-shaped
risk your
human
life
will
by
be
sitting
happy.
on his back right now.
But I like the training I want to do now is not training her a trick. Or training him a trick. It's literally training him just to manage to start flapping like his wings and to get some flight some flight. I know, like mechanically, it's not a trick, but I imagine that we also gotta train Alari into learning how to fly.
Yeah, sure. Make me a wrangling check.
Okay, now I
Triangling
do
check.
have this one, Beast Whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply to my wrangling check?
Yeah.
Score. This is my wrangling check, and I roll a 3 on my d6, so
Ooh.
27.
You spend the evening quite successfully working with Alari. He's a very difficult little guy to what's it called? His attention is basically all over the place. Perhaps
Yeah.
as a result of you and Vittorio having a very, very different approach to how you want to do things.
Yeah, I know Cyrus is
And
like
so it's
ruining
difficult to
everything.
pull him in line sometimes, but you manage to get him on board by playing games, which seems to be his favorite activity.
Bro, he's
Anywhere.
1 month old and already has ADHD.
I mean, like you said as a joke,
He's
Alari
a
does.
baby!
Also, Alari does have the energetic trait, so it's not
Yeah.
like.
Correct.
But yeah, I'll
Alari,
continue.
his attention is just all over the place, but you realize quickly that through play, that is just a way to engage him. And so
Yeah.
just throwing him up in the air might not be, the way to go about it, but turning it into a little game where there's something for him to attain.
Where it's like, oh yeah, like I hide a little snack that he has to jump onto one thing and then jump to another and then learn to fly that way. Yeah,
That is very,
probably
very reminiscent of how Torio trained Pierre, not necessarily to fly, because he already knew how to do that, but how he went about learning him how to track and hunt and stuff.
Yeah, and I'll just train. I imagine I'll do this for this downtime, 10 days, like every evening when there's not partying and drinking too much. Yeah.
Don't worry, he's
Learn-
quite good at finding snacks when everyone's partying too.
That is true.
That's when all
But-
the best snacks are literally free.
Although I will tell the party that the moment Alari properly learns how to fly, I need to take some time to properly, how do I say this? To train him into the right tricks to like get Alari to come over. Because you don't want the flying animal to just be like, I'm staying on the mast, you bitch! You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is true.
Anywho. Which island do you guys want to go to today?
I think we can go to the other closest one, which is neither because of both far away.
Yeah.
No, Gabe's like,
Blinka
the
Spadinka."
closest one, Cork Bottle Isle.
Like,
We can
it's
go
good.
for Tektidi Island.
I mean, I'm gonna say something controversial. If we're doing everything by order, we might as well go to Cork Bottle Isle.
For what? It's a volcano. What do you want to go there for?
Well, volcano is spit out, minerals and shit. It's a pretty good place to go to.
I mean, he's not
It's a
wrong.
dragon in him speaking.
I'm just saying, like,
He's not wrong, though.
Our character with our track record, Cork Bottle Isle is the last stop we're gonna do before we, forever fuck up this chain of islands. Before we've checked out the remaining 2 islands.
It's got a good point.
Speaking of minerals, do not forget that you have an actual artisan like jeweler on board at this point in time of your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking out for.
Who knows a lot about different types of minerals,
I will
gems and gem
leave-
cuts.
Yeah, I will leave the Ethereum bars we found with him to study for the remaining of our time here, so he can take a little bit of a acquaintance, quote unquote, with how these bars are made, or a little bit.
Dogas.
Uh,
The only thing I want to get acquainted with is that pearl. Dogas.
you know that pearl is not for sale, and it's not yours to get.
This is the most pained dragonborn on this entire ship.
This only goes in Tokas. The only thing I want to get acquainted with is you.
Dogas.
You already know.
When are we gonna go on a date? My vote is for Cork Bottle Isle purely because if we're doing the order of the closest, we might as well.
Okay, no, thank you. Take the island for me. I must say, if you want to
Tiebreaker for Torio.
I mean, I want to go to. As I said, I want to go to either one of these two we haven't looked at before we go to.
That's
Cork Bottle.
Tektite Isle.
Damn, tectonic
Then
island.
we're gonna go to Tected Isle. Tected Isle.
To Tactile.
Tected.
It's very
To
tactile.
Teki.
I'll be
The
right back
most
for real quick.
tactile of isles.
Tactile islands. Yippee.
All right. Tektite Isle is named for one very specific resource that is found here. As strewn across the black sand shores of this island are these fist-sized bulbs of a black glass. The locals call these tektites. And they are basically tiny little, like, glassy meteors. Which you can use as like an improvised weapon. It's like a tiny little thrown object.
Yippee. Rocks.
It is like a glassy rock that shatters when it strikes anything.
Hectite cannonballs. Yippee.
I was about to say.
Grapple shot.
Well, the issue with using glass for a cannonball is that
The
it
initial-
shatters in your cannon, not in the.
Just put it
not when it
inside the ball,
strikes.
you know?
Oh, of course. Good idea.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you guys are looking for on this isle?
Yeah, I want the algae that is the second ingredient for the cure for the cure to Ethereum poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 7 nuts with 7 vin nuts.
7 vin nuts.
Now we need 7 algae.
Right.
Yeah. I think. What's it called?
I guess if Vittorio maybe wants to look for it, I
Oh no! I mean, it's either is fine. I was just gonna say that Vittorio is what's it called? Yeah, letting Delphine do some, you know, I don't want to call it tracking, but letting her navigate around and do some of that stuff. And helping her out a bit if she needs to. If she needs the help. And yeah, I guess I'll keep my eyes open for some potential flora.
Right.
I know what I'm looking for.
Money.
Make me
He
some
knows.
plant check, Vittorio, and then I need a. I guess I also need one from Tokas, because you're looking for the other ones.
I'm looking for elementals.
All right.
Yeah, I was about to
Make an
say
elemental check.
if Vittor is looking for flora, then I'm guessing the plant I'm looking for also goes underneath the same category.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I'm going to let him do his herbalisming
I mean,
and yeah. So
yeah, you could. I'm just saying that you were specifically looking for that, or it's just like looking for, basically, new flora that he has not come across before.
yeah, that's what I mean though. Like I feel like if you're looking for new flora, that's part of the new flora that
Fair.
we're gonna come
No,
across.
okay, that's fair.
So instead, I'm going to look out for new fauna because I discovered that these are beasts. So I am very interested in spotting more of them.
Okay, go ahead, make me that check.
What check would you like me to make?
Beastie check.
Beastie check? What is beastie check?
Beast lore, but with wisdom.
Ugh, that's even worse. Right, that's a straight wisdom check. As far as good as it can go.
Right. Togas goes to the rocky, southern shores of the isle, while Vittorio tries to look in the middle, and Zarius, he's focused on finding elementals, so he's following the ways of the portals.
The ways of the portal.
I'm just like, which portal do I
Sorry.
have to stick my hand in?
Yeah, it's what you ask yourself. Then you look in the distance, you see Cork Bottle Isle. You know in your elemental heart that is where the elementals will be. That is where the elementals would be, close to the great source of such great power of elemental variety.
There might be, but maybe we find some small portals with some small elementals. We found them on the other isle.
This is
Might
true.
as well try my luck.
Unfortunately, Pectite Isle has no elementals.
Damn, unfortunate.
It does not even. No, actually, it has a few small portals of water. Vittorio. You find a couple trees where you find more of the vinnuts growing. And you eventually end up on the shores as well, like with the others. That's when you notice that on the shore that faces the airward ridge, there is this reef of black rock protruding sort of between the two isles. And it has these little, almost glittering patches of purple and teal colored vegetation just about over the surface of the Aether. It's maybe 50 feet out into the water.
Would I recognize this as the algae?
You think that this color matches the description of merblood flowers?
Yeah, they look like kelp just above the water is at high tide. Low tide, it stands up on its own. So it's currently high tide then, I imagine. Do I know what does it matter when you harvest it? If it's low or high tide?
Doesn't really matter.
Eh. Yeah.
Actually, make me a. Actually, what
Oh.
did you roll?
The
It was
20,
15.
20 total.
It's probably better to do it in low tide. The plants are not. Don't always respond kindly, and you wouldn't want to be swimming at that point.
It's a very strange thing to say.
With a smile.
Yeah, it's a very strange thing to say. Yeah, it was like looking at this. Probably has one of the books open as well. It's like, well, I think that's the merblood algae. Or well, flower. I mean, flower. I guess it's algae. I mean, they can have flowers. Anyway, it's one of the things needed for the curing aether poisoning. No, you and me talked about it before, Tokas.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. There's also a couple more kamic nuts back that way. Points.
I mean, we should gather all the nuts we can.
Kamic nuts, yes. As for the merblood, shouldn't harvest it right now. We should wait until it's low tide. Because apparently, he's like, apparently they're, he looks in the book. It just says feisty.
Oh, well. I mean, I found out where the elementals might be hiding.
Yeah, are they somewhere around here?
I look at the volcano.
It's. Didn't I see that when we were back on
You did, but like I was hoping I'd find some small portals here, like the water portals. We should definitely make use out of. If we create those stably, that would be amazing.
If we could create stable portals to other planes of existence, I would definitely not be here.
Yeah, but that tiny, like small.
But the size doesn't matter. Tearing the fabric of reality apart permanently is a feat only achievable by archmages themselves.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if you could do that, you'd solve so many problems.
Yeah, that's what archmages do, you know? When you have the power to bend reality to your every whim, you can solve a lot of problems. Sadly, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that anytime soon. But it's good that we found the plants. At least we've got some antidotes by hand if anyone gets sick. I didn't manage to find anything myself, but alas.
I wasn't done yet with you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were.
You're going to die.
That makes sense.
Yes. You go along the shores on the earthward side of the isle. There are a lot of tide pools here where small little critters flit about, the occasional little fish, but most of the creatures that you find seem to be a type of like aether shrimp. They're very small, very tiny, very cute. They have a lot more whiskers than regular shrimp. It's almost like their entire face is just like these little whiskers. And they kind of just like scuttle about, cleaning the little tide pools up. Like they pick up little rocks and put them all on one side. Until inevitably all of their work will get undone when the tides change again.
No.
No. Such is the nature of their life. What you find on the beach after a good hour walking up and down is is a pretty large bottle that is looking all scratched up, that is jammed between a couple of rocks near the shore. Inside is a scrap of parchment.
Creepy. I pick it up.
You'll quickly find that this is an old and desperate missive from a captain, hoping that their message would be carried further from these shores, but never made it further than even Tectike Isle. As it is signed by Emil Markov.
No, that's so sad.
Seeking the help of any Drake, Imperial, or merchant who finds this message. But it was not to be. You guys can wait until the lower tide. Take your little boat out to the patch of Murblood flowers. There's 4 of them in total.
Oh, huge.
Close proximity to one another.
Do I know anything, or is there anything in the book pertaining to how one easiest go about harvesting these?
It doesn't say anything about like the easiest way of harvesting them. It just shows like which leaves you need to like obtain. But in the like scrolled in the like sidelines, how do you call this? The white space of the book?
Yeah.
Is like
The
a little
margins.
like in the margins of the book is like a little nursery rhyme.
Okay.
What do you want? What would you like to do?
Oh, I was waiting for you to like
yeah, same.
read this nursery rhyme.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you. I will give it. I'll post it to you.
Alright. I mean, in the meantime, we can harvest the flowers. If I suppose shouldn't be too hard.
It shouldn't be too hard, he says.
Yeah.
Here's it for you, Vittorio.
Yeah, it's just responding to a lovely first time chatter. Okay. Do you want me to read this nursery rhyme?
I mean, if that's what Vittorio does, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he sees it in the margins of this book, and he's like, what does this say? Little plants, soft and slow. Rest your stems, no need to get up and go. Ether is warm and hugs you tight. You're safe all day and night. Okay. Leaves so quiet, roots so deep. Dreams will bloom while you sleep. Every curl and tiny shoot makes the world more sweet and cute. Right?
Make me a singing check, please.
Sure thing. Let's see. I could probably just what? I mean, it's straight up charisma for me. I imagine.
I mean, do you not have singing as a skill or what? It's on your thing, so you can just roll it.
I mean, yeah. Okay, here we go. Holy shit, that's really good for me.
I don't know about that.
Victoria,
I'm-
you begin to sing and you try to harvest some petals. The plants stand up.
What do you mean? Stand up?
The plants literally like unroot themselves from their place and like shudder their little like leaves.
He's like, without like looking away from the plants, he's like,
Nice one, harvesting.
And they begin to like, they don't hiss, but like their leaves shudder so violently that they might as well be hissing.
Darius, can you just like, I think they didn't like my, like I wasn't trying to sing. I was just reading this thing in the morning. Can you, Darius? Can you please read this? Like, sing, read, something.
Sure. What did you say with his last word?
It says suit.
No, it's cute.
He's like, how am I supposed to know that?
Fine.
Vittorio,
I'm ready for them to fucking, yeah.
let's have a look.
Yeah.
Holy crap, no way.
All of them crit.
Ethereum poisoning.
No, it's not quite like that. You're trying to get Zarius to, begin singing. But he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll do it, I'll look at it. He takes way too long, Vittorio. The, like, little shrubs all walk up to, like, your legs, and they begin swatting you with their little
Ow!
branches. This is how much damage they deal. One of them hits you.
Oh no. 3,000. Oh,
It deals zero.
Fine.
It deals 0 damage. It just stings.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's like, it's like when you're in a sauna and you're weird and you slap your back with what's it called in English? I don't remember, but it's basically a branch of a tree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Zarius begins to sing the rhyme, and the plants stop attacking you. They like finally calm down. Despite they momentarily stop being upset that you were dismembering them.
He hadn't even gotten to that part. They were so upset by his singing.
Fair, very fair. After Zarius
It's like standing
finished,
there and staring at you.
After Zarius is finished, he's gonna mumble to himself like, "Damn, I told Delphine the bear thing is a joke, but."
Delphine's just standing in the distance. Are you okay?
Yeah. They, I guess they did not like me is all.
You consider just asking them.
I don't even know if they like. I mean,
Like, to just start singing at them, so I don't understand.
well, I mean that's what it said in the book.
Do you do everything that it says in the book?
No, but this is like a new place, and
If the book told you to
has
jump off of a bridge, would you do it?
No, that's fucking stupid.
As well, critical
Well, so was
judgment is
singing.
forward-looking.
What?
Well, I mean, it worked.
Yeah,
I
not for
sang.
everyone.
You're singing the work, Zorius.
Mhm.
But just gonna like look at these now, Cormer plans, and he's like, I don't think you understand a single word of what I'm saying, and the singing part's like only for harmonics. No, harmonics is way too big of a word for him. It's only because of like the melody or tune that's calming you down. That's about right.
The plants shudder.
Little plants, soft and low. Zarius makes it super dramatic as he's walking around Victoria.
The plants are just like swaying for left and right.
Damn. Well, yeah, I feel really weird asking plant. You guys fine if we take a couple of leaves?
Give me a savagery check.
Savage.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
they're plants.
Yeah, I guess.
You guys fine if
they're not
if we take
etiquette.
your lungs? Are you guys fine if we take your lungs?
Deadass.
Why must everything be like this? Okay, savage. I can't reroll that either. I let me just check if I have something I can add to it. I might have. Maybe that can save it. Not on that. Not on that. Okay, let me quickly check here. Here.
I'd like to remind you that in this game we do have take 10, you know.
No, it's too late.
It's too
No,
late.
for next time, not now. Shut
He
the fuck
took
up.
8 instead.
Took 8. No, he took 5.
Oh, no,
I'll have you know.
Let's
I was
see.
reminding you for next time. Do not tell me how to run my game.
Feature. Okay, yeah. I'll use dulled emotions because it works on either deceiving people or cowing them. So I'll overextend and use a bigger die for that. See if that does. It's perfectly average.
It is perfectly average. I'm afraid this is not a success for today, Vittorio. You did not convince these shrubs to surrender a handful of
Grab
their
the fucking sword and cut them
petals
all up.
peacefully.
You want me to do it?
Why must everything be living here?
Me, you singing. I can more savagely sing if that's what you prefer.
I could also just cut them and be done with it.
Yeah.
There was a child in Valorant. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no. Yeah, what's it going to be?
It's a great question. Vittorio?
Just die with dignity.
I suppose harvesting them?
Just do it. I'm singing them to keep them calm.
Yeah. We can harvest them, I suppose.
How are you gonna harvest them?
How the way the book says, we need the petals or the leaves, right? We're gonna snip some leaves.
Yeah, you're just gonna cut them off.
Yeah.
Alright, fight them, Tokas. Go
I mean,
ahead.
you'll have to.
Pickpocket them right now.
Yeah. I'm going to snip some leaves.
intimidate them, savage them, Tokas.
No, why am I fucking intimidating plants? I'm gonna snip some leaves, and if they want to slap me with their D4 -3 damage, I'll take it.
Shut the fuck up! They're not that weak!
Yeah, they are the plants. Now give me your leaves.
Suddenly, Mother Plant be like, 60,
big-
10.
Make the pickpockets now.
Why the fuck am I pickpocketing them? I'm walking up to them and cutting those leaves.
But they can move, they can dodge.
Yeah, they don't have to stand still
Do I
and
have
then
to
take your
beat the
shit.
fuck out of these plants so I can snip them? Excuse me?
No, I'm asking you to swipe it from them.
Jesus Christ.
Unless you want to just go out there and beat them up, that's fine. Then they're dead.
Yeah.
Then they will never have leaves again.
Oh yeah, you can fucking make me feel guilty about plants.
Like
sure.
as you're about to smash the plants, I'm just like Zarius holds up his hand and is like, I have an idea.
I don't
Enslave
care. I'm
them,
going to kill these
enslave them,
plants now.
Zarius.
Give me a quick moment as I
I
continue
gave
to
you
sing.
enough.
Just one. As I keep singing, and then suddenly I'll just full on plop down. I will try to scare the shit out of them into not resisting.
So you're doing the same. Fucking hell. No,
as Vittorio does, and I'll literally like drop down for a moment in the song, look at the plants, and say, "If you act, all of you will die. If you stop, some of you may live." And then I'll stand back up and continue the song.
just gotta go in and take these fucking pills. I swear to God.
Okay, torture these plants now.
I'll
No,
torture these
okay,
plants, and I'll do
You're
that.
gonna torture them.
I'll torture these
No.
plants, and I'll do it especially well because I'm a botanist.
Oh my god.
I'm great at plant torture.
Pickpocket was
Terrible.
it, or what do you want me
Yeah.
to roll? Right. Where's it?
Guys, please don't unfollow us for this plant torture session.
So it's this plus 17.
And Zarius with his torture check.
Oh, my torture check. Wabam. I'm great. Why am I good at torturing things?
Alright, between the two of you, you can swipe enough, you can cow enough plants to complete all the doses for the nuts that you have. The plants are just like shaking like reeds as they are standing in this like shallow water. When you're finally done, the awakened shrubbies like retreat into the water, trying to like hide in a crevice.
They were awakened fully? Bro, they're smarter than Vittorio.
They were not awakened, else they could have spoken.
They're smarter than me.
That was a joke.
Me were me.
Damn, I get fucking cold, tiny than a rat, and no one's bats an eye. The moment you solve Tor's intelligence, that's crazy work.
What do you mean? There's only 3 of us here. What do you mean?
That's
We're only
crazy
defending
work.
ourselves.
Anyways,
You
yeah.
guys have plundered Tectic Isle.
How many fucking petals do we get?
Enough to complete the doses that you had.
So 7?
So you had 8.
Huge.
No, we should probably all take one of these.
We can't complete the dose yet.
No, once we complete the dose.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Let's go tomorrow. Do we add Airward Ridge to this, or is that a separate thing?
No, it's part of it.
Okay.
Alright.
Then let's go to Flow Island tomorrow.
Yeah, for this day, we'll return to the ship, and it's time to begin school for Atropos.
Alright.
Time for flying lessons.
So with the party, I think collected their doses and going into an evening of teaching all the children. I think that's where we can end session for today.
End session.
Very well.
And reopen next time
That we will.
with exploring the last isle and probably getting the hell out of here.
That sounds most excellent. Why is this
I don't
not opening?
I do not know, but I know that I thank you all for being here. And I'll see you all next week.
Sadly, you will not see me next week.
Cooked.
because I am
I
on
will see
vacation.
most of you next week. So yeah, Mark is not gonna be here. If you want to rob him, now's the time.
No, there's still people in my house, just not me.
Very strange thing to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's being renovated.
Unusual.
Understandable.
Alright.
But yes, indeed. You will see some of us next week. Thank you all for sticking around.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Until then,
All right, William.
bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. I will.
God, my eyes were so eepy.